you can start your week off with joy. Thanks for listening to the Voice of Truth station, WUCC 99.9 FM. God bless.
Hi, this is Deborah Dixon, author of Why Settle. Check it out at Amazon today. You are listening to Your Morning Manna.
I want the joy of the Lord to come down. I want the joy of the Lord to fall now. I want the joy of the Lord in my life. I want the joy of the Lord to lift me. I want the joy of the Lord to change me. I want the joy of the Lord in my life. It's time I started dancing over all these graves. It's time I gave you, oh my God, the highest praise. It's time to lift my voice, oh, and beg for this blessing to fall. I want the joy of the Lord to come down. I want the joy of the Lord to fall now. I want the joy of the Lord in my life. I want the joy of the Lord to lift me. I want the joy of the Lord to change me. I want the joy of the Lord in my life. It's time I started dancing over all these graves. It's time I gave you, oh my God, the highest praise. It's time to lift my voice. Hey, come on, we gotta beg for this blessing to fall. Want the joy of the Lord to come down. Want the joy of the Lord to fall now. Want the joy of the Lord in my life. Yeah, yeah. Want the joy of the Lord to lift me. Want the joy of the Lord to change me. Want the joy of the Lord in my life. Oh yeah. Want the joy of the Lord to come down. Want the joy of the Lord to fall now. Want the joy of the Lord in this life. Oh my yeah. Want the joy of the Lord to lift me. Want the joy of the Lord to change me. Want the joy of the Lord in my life. It's time I started dancing over all these graves. It's time I gave you, oh my God, the highest praise. It's time to lift my voice. Oh, I'm gonna beg for this blessing to fall. Want the joy of the Lord to come down. Want the joy of the Lord to fall now. Want the joy of the Lord in my life. I want the joy of the Lord to lift me. I want the joy of the Lord to change me. I want the joy of the Lord in my life. Hey, yeah, yeah. I want the joy to come down. I want the joy to fall now. I want the joy of the Lord in my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want the joy to lift me. I want the joy to change me. I want the joy of the Lord in my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want it to come down. I want it to fall now. I want the joy of the Lord. I want it to lift me. I want it to change me. The joy of the Lord in my life.
Hi, this is Dana with Morning Man, and we're here in the studio this morning. April, do you have any jokes for us today?
Actually, I do. What did the chicken do when she heard the rooster crow?
I don't know. What?
She grabbed a radio and tuned into WCC to listen to Morning Manna, of course.
Well, thank you, April. Guys, be sure to tune in on Monday mornings from 8 to 10 a.m. for your Morning Manna.
Hey, this is Kylie Babb. Join the Morning Manna crew every Monday from 8 to 10 a.m. right here on 99.9 FM.
You're listening to Your Morning Manna.
Hey, this is Betsy, and you're listening to Your Morning Manna, the best Monday morning wake-up show.
Saddle up your horses.
Good morning. It's time to saddle up for your weekly ride with Morning Manna and the Morning Manna crew. Good morning, CSRA and the world. This is your Morning Manna, and we are the Morning Manna crew.
And we are so excited to be here on this cool Monday
Yes, we
morning.
are.
Crisp.
Cool and
It
crisp.
was definitely crisp this morning. I was like, oh. But luckily, our pastor and owner of the radio station remoted in and had the heat
I love
on
it.
for
I
us.
know, we walked in here and it was so warm, and we walked in. Bill said, "Oh, Pastor done remoted in on us."
That's
I'm
cool.
telling you what.
Thank you, Pastor Schaefer.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
you
love
You can
it.
tell the weather changed by our words.
Attire.
Right.
Attire, right?
All four of us
Well,
long sleeve.
I
That's
know it.
rare. So yeah.
As
And
Dana said, I know I'm making a mistake wearing this, but I've got to. It's cold.
Well, here was my thing: is I normally I noticed April has a T-shirt under hers, and I normally do that too because I thought if I start getting hot,
Oh, yeah.
and I thought, well, there's other T-shirts out there. If I get
Uh-huh,
hot, I will go put one of those.
Yeah, because that's less chance of getting hot, not being all layered. Yeah, I like what Stephanie King said on her Facebook, and I hope I'll say it right. She was saying something like, yeah, fall showed up and was like, yeah, I had heard y'all was talking about me. Like, fall showed up like, bam, I'm here on the scene. I feel like more like it's winter a little bit,
Yeah,
but
'cause
I still like it.
This is Monday, so what? Last Thursday was like 90 degrees.
I know.
Right,
Well, I
right.
think today's the first frost, they said so.
I know
Yeah,
it
it
was
is the
wonderful,
first
though.
one.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm so ready
Yeah,
for a
I'm-
change
Chris.
in weather.
I'm more of a cold person.
Well, can I just say something real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
I see Mary Hannah has commented already.
Mary.
And I've just got to make a comment.
Okay.
This is my first
Bread
time
pudding.
being back on since the bread
BP.
pudding thing. Good gracious, man.
It'll hook you, won't it?
I came
Yeah.
home from work and I knew April had it. And
It's
she had
good,
told me
huh?
earlier in the day, and I had actually forgot about it, and I got home and saw it. Man, that stuff was, wow. That's
Uh,
probably the best dessert I've ever had
Yeah,
in my life.
I
It
would
was-
say so.
it
Yeah.
Because
So
what's
very
funny,
good.
I called my oldest daughter there, and I said, "You need to come over and get some of this bread pudding and try it out." Okay, I will. I was like, "Y'all just come over tomorrow." And then I said, "Can I eat all of this by tomorrow?"
Oh, did she get some?
No, she did not.
Well, let me
Yeah,
tell
is
you
that-
the funny story about that. So I took it home. He's so excited
That was
that
her
night. He
birthday,
comes
too.
in and he said, he started getting all these little bowls out. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm going to take some of my guys at work this." I
Yeah.
said, "What?
Mhm. Yeah,
Wait a
yeah.
minute." I was like, "Wait a minute. You can't take our bread."
I know, Paul. I got up that one morning, looked in that pan.
And then I felt bad.
there
I
was
was
one
kind of, I
spoonful
was like,
left.
"Oh, that's selfish,
I
ain't
know.
it, Dana?"
was
I
like,
did feel
"Oh,
kind
I
of
don't need all
bad.
those
But
I'll
it's
tell you
just
that-
those little containers. I mean,
Well,
it's tiny.
the best part to me was once it was in the refrigerator and it kind of
Yeah,
seeped
can
out, I
jail.
guess.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Man, I liked it cold right out of the refrigerator. I'd just get me some
I
out.
couldn't
and
do
dip
it.
What
cold.
was that the small pan? 'Cause if
Yes.
so, that's a lot.
Are you
That
kidding
was,
me?
That was the half
The thing was
pan.
15
Yeah,
pounds.
That's good.
That's probably
Anyway.
how much I gained.
Well, shout out to Blaze and Buzz
Yes.
Catering. Or are they in Orangeburg?
They were in Bamberg.
Bamberg. I knew it was
Hey,
a bird.
did she attend y'all's church?
Yes.
Yes, Mary does.
So we need everybody to
Well, she's
order
been
all
a,
of your
uh,
catering through Blaze and Buzz
I'm
Catering.
telling you, you do. Their food's great. We had them for
Mary,
our
put
pastor,
y'all's number on there, girl.
pastor appreciation dinner. They catered for the church. It was delicious.
And I want to say he brought white meat and dark meat, and it was already cooked. He
It was
didn't cook
grilled,
on site.
yeah.
And they're coming from out of town. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
And the pieces of chicken I had were moist. They were done.
It was good.
So
All of it was good.
Call
But,
them today, y'all.
Yeah, so thank you to Mary Hannah and them for sponsoring Your Morning Manna. They're one
Yes.
of our sponsors
Yes.
here, so we like to highlight them. And Donna, she says, yes, she's hooked on that bread pudding. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's easy to get hooked on.
Oh,
so
man, it was good.
it's
Yeah, it
wonderful.
I
was
said
I'll
it was
just say
Christmas
this.
on a plate to me.
Oh,
April
yeah.
gave some to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and to my mother-in-law, and then she had ate some. So it's a good thing that we gave some away because
Oh, I know,
Yeah,
right?
it
was-
really
yeah.
was
Yeah.
a good thing because
now, I don't know about y'all, but I've never had. That's the only bread pudding I've ever had.
oh yeah,
So
Yeah.
I can't judge it by anything other than
Well, it's,
we have had other
awesomeness.
bread
It's
pudding.
definitely
and
different.
I think it's the
Yeah.
French bread. They use a
Yeah.
different kind of bread. She
They
was
do.
talking. I really feel like that keeps it more consistent because normal bread pudding is so mushy that it doesn't have the consistency. But I think it's because they use that thicker bread.
Whatever they do,
Whatever
it's
you're
good.
doing, honey,
That's
keep
right.
it coming.
Yeah, I
And
heard
put your number on there too, Miss Mary.
I heard some people put raisins in it.
yeah.
Yeah, I have had it with raisins
we'll
before.
take the
It's-
pecans.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah,
pecans better, but
I would spit that out.
Yeah.
So let's go
Raisins
ahead
are
and
too healthy.
let's do a few shout outs here this morning. We got quite a few
Yeah.
joining us already. Rachel, she's off. She says, hey, Morning Manna crew, I find myself off work today because of a rare set of events, and it's definitely going to be the best part of my day. I so
Oh,
love y'all.
love you, girl.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Rachel. Danette, good morning, friends.
Good morning, sweetie.
Who else do we have on here? Donna and
Joanne's
Mary
on.
and Joanne and
Mary Hannah.
yeah, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us
Y'all
this
share
morning.
this right now. If y'all
Audrey.
don't mind, just click that little share button. Miss Allison Lentz is tuned in. And let all of your friends know about what's happening on Monday mornings here with the Your Morning Manna program. We really want to get joy out to as many people as possible. So, honestly, if about every 15, 20 minutes you click share button, it's not going to hurt because it's going to continue to keep the feed fresh with Your Morning Manna. We would
right.
appreciate that so
Exactly
much.
right.
Joanne Eckroff.
Yeah.
Let's see who else.
Well, I'm excited
Audrey
about
Rivera.
today's show, guys.
Okay.
Because we've got a cute little video that we're going to do in our Speak Life
very
segment
good.
that's going to really open up conversation for us to talk about some stuff.
Yeah.
And I hear Paul's got a great story to tell in a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I want you to share what you shared with me.
okay.
yeah, and so we got a lot of good things
Yeah.
coming up, so I'm excited. But let's just go ahead and start with prayer. That way we can get this part in.
Sounds good.
Lord, we just thank you this morning for this beautiful Monday morning, God, for this is the day that you have made, and we choose to rejoice and be glad in it. God, thank you for this opportunity to come on this radio station this morning and to bring joy to our listeners, God, to those watching on Facebook, those listening on the radio. Father, I speak blessings over them today. God, I pray that your joy would be real in their life. Father, I thank you for this opportunity to serve you. And I just thank you, Father God, for all that you're going to do with this program today, the lives you're going to touch. And I just ask you, God, now to be with each one of us. Speak through us today, God. Give us ears to hear you, Lord, and eyes to see the way you see the world, and a heart to care for those the way you would care for them, Lord. I just thank you for this opportunity, and I just speak blessings today over Your Morning Manna, WCC, its owners, staff, and all that has to do with the station. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Before we go any further, I want to talk about prayer. I don't know, the followers of Your Morning Manna might see it, maybe not. But anyway, I have not been asked to do the morning prayer since we've started. And it's not because I don't want to, it's because I'm no good at it as far as vocalization.
Oh, the sweets, the voice that goes along with the music.
Right.
We'd have to change up the music.
Oh, no, it's not that.
no,
It's just, I'm not, in my mind, I'm an awesome prayer. But I belong to the Pentecostal denomination, and they have a tendency to pray out loud. And coming from a Presbyterian background, that's very confusing to me because I'm trying to pray.
You sound like Paul.
Yeah, I'm trying to pray, and y'all praying loud and praying actually better than me. So
It's not about being better or anything like
but
that.
I know, but I'm just saying. I've gotten asked to pray 2 times past April's birthday, and then out
See,
at work,
the Lord is speaking to me, Bill.
and then out at work, and I was like, oh,
What an
geez.
opportunity at work, though.
No, it's not an opportunity because I'm not that good at it.
You are. You,
No.
you
there's-
just talk to God. I mean, it's just a
yeah,
conversation.
but I talk to him a lot different. Y'all were good at it. I am not. I'm
You
trying
crack
to
me up.
practice.
Well, yep, you're not praying to us.
I know that.
But we are saints.
Yes.
Right.
I just want y'all to know I am practicing because I'm
Bill
going to get
said,
better.
Bill told me, he said, Dana, he said, I'll do the prayer one. Can I write my prayer
Of
down? And I
course.
said, you can do whatever you need to do.
That's
But-
what people do when they go on and speak at a big event and pray. They have it written out. You know what I mean? I do.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
Well, I just want you to know at your birthday party, in my mind, it was very eloquent and beautiful. It didn't come out that way, but
I don't. And here's the
my
thing: I
heart
don't
was
even
there.
remember, but I thought it was awesome that you did it, and
But
I
my
think it's
heart was
encouraging
there.
to a lot of people as well, Bill, because
That's right.
you know there's a lot of people that are not comfortable praying out loud. A lot of people,
Right.
and so thank you for sharing that because we need to remember that just like you guys said, it's just talking to God, and I feel like the more real you can be, the better it is for people. There's no
That
reason
is-
for thou and thouest.
Oh no, I don't do that.
No, I know.
But you have. Well, speaking for myself, I have so much that I want to thank God for, and it's there, it just don't come out. So
You know, it's kind of like when you have you ever had a conversation with someone and you after you leave and you're gone, you go like, man, I should have said this, and I should have said it this way, and you're rehashing
lot
your
for me,
mind.
yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of like the same thing.
Well,
But
I apologized to a couple of people at the work thing, and they were like, "No, you did good," and you're on the radio. You should be used to talking and doing that. I said, number one, I didn't have a microphone, in front of my face, and number two, I didn't have 3 people in front of me. I had 30 people in front of me.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you have more than 3 people in front of you right now.
I don't.
so-
This does not. This has never bothered me.
Oh, okay.
Um, I enjoy this, and I feel I'm pretty decent at it. But once again, like our first remote, it was different.
Remotes are hard.
Yeah, well,
Much
it was
harder
different
than
because
this.
I had to talk a lot longer.
You do. You just have to keep going with
Yeah,
it.
keep going. And,
That's a little stressful.
But anyway, if you have trouble praying
That's
out
right.
loud,
Yes.
you got 2 things you can do. You can go to like the Presbyterian or Baptist thing, or practice and get
You're
better.
going to have to do one or the
Yeah,
other.
and
Because they're
practice
going
and
to be
get
calling
better.
on you.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, just be ready. But anyway, guys, this prayer segment, we just want to give a shout out to 2 of our awesome sponsors today. And the reason I'm doing this is because they're both going to be here with us next Monday
Yeah.
to co-host, Miss Kathy Lemunion and Michelle Curls. So the Bodybuilder Ministry and Michelle Curls, thank y'all for
Yes,
sponsoring the
thank
prayer
you,
segment
guys.
for us here.
And I have to say something about Michelle.
Yes, please do.
She's been putting some videos up.
Yes.
Yeah. She's so
And-
sweet.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing a
I
great
think
job.
she's kind of going out of her comfort zone
Right.
doing that. That's right.
Of course, now
Yes.
Kathy, I love hers because hers is, I mean, short, sweet, to the point, bam, bam, bam. Michelle's doing real good too, so I've got to give them both a shout out.
It's awesome.
We're
Yeah.
thankful to have them
Bodybuilding
for
ministry.
sponsoring
Thank
Thank
y'all
you.
for
this.
sponsoring our First Things First prayer and scripture segment.
And
Absolutely.
I'm supposed to have the scripture this morning, and my Bible's in there, but I will tell you that I thought to go along with our Speak Life segment this morning, I'm going to do it this way. I believe it's in Luke, and it's, your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path.
That goes
It's
along
going
with
to
everything.
go with what we're going to talk about
Might be
today.
in Psalm 119.
Thank you, 119, verse 105. That's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
See, this is what I have to deal with. Because I still consider myself a baby in Christ. And I have to deal with all these
Well,
biblical
you know, and
scholars.
it's like I knew that, but you know what the subject was when we were talking about Luke, where he talks about, okay, so but I know it's verse 105.
Where they reiterated
yes,
in Luke.
Yes.
Surrounded by a bunch of Jonathans.
Okay.
No, not
Um,
at all.
I want to give a thank you, Danette. She's like, I totally get it. I can talk to Jesus all day long in my car, shower, closet, etc. But to pray in front of people, and she's
Right.
got a little throw up emoji or whatever.
Those emojis say it all, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm telling
I just
you.
love that one.
Well, I think sometimes we just get nervous, and you know, you got so much going on in your mind and all that. But I've just gotten to where now I just kind of
Well,
slow it down and just
Slow
whatever.
it down. That's the key.
comes-
It-
you know?
I wish I could say it was nerves, but it's not nerves. It's like, okay, eloquent. Nothing. It's like something
It sounds
is
like your
blocking.
goal is the problem.
Yeah,
Cut
it's
that
like-
goal of eloquent out
Yeah,
and
evidently, that
just
might
be
be it.
you,
That
do
might be
you.
it, yeah.
People
It's not
want you to
nerves.
do you.
Yeah.
Just like on the show, we try to just be us. We're not here doing anything professional. We're not trying to change anything about us. We're just presenting ourselves. And
Right.
so I think that's what people
Trying to
really
bring
want.
you joy on this Monday morning. You know, something
Yeah.
because Mondays we start off. You know, everybody's up, school, work, whatever. You know, it's just for whatever the beginning, the drudgery of the work week. And we have so many people now that's like, yeah, on Monday morning, I can't wait to hear y'all. Y'all bring laughter, you
that's
bring
amazing.
joy and whatever. So
That's
we're so
awesome. Yeah,
thankful
We
for
love
that.
you guys. We appreciate every listener.
Yeah, we
Yes,
do.
we certainly
really
Sure do.
All right.
And now, for your listening pleasure, conversation with the crew.
Okay, guys, I chose conversation this morning because typically it's this time of year, and we're going to talk about fairs. Bill and I have, for those of you that don't know, tonight is the $60 carload at Aiken Fair, by the way. We're
Up to
taking
47 people.
up to seven
Oh, I
people.
thought it
Like
was
back in the
7.
Up
drive-in
to
days.
seven people. If you're legally seat belted in the Aiken, you can come to Aiken Fair. They count. You go to the thing. You pay $60. That's all.
everything.
And you get an armband to ride all you want to ride, and that's your gate admission. Okay, so at the Aiken Fair tonight.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've got my 3 nieces and Jace there at our house. Amelia, Emily, and Sarah, 16, 14, and 11, and then Jace, and we're taking them to the fair tonight. But I was laughing because I was thinking about it. Last week the Augusta Fair was in town.
State Fair too.
The State Fair in Columbia was in town. Now we've got the Aiken Fair, and then the Columbia County Fair will be, I guess, sometime
I
in
think
the
theirs
1st of
is during the
November.
summer.
No, there's
No,
sometime in
theirs is-
November. It'll be coming up.
But they have another one during the summer or something, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong, but I know that their fair is coming up.
So I wanted to ask y'all about fairs this morning. Do y'all like to go to fairs? I mean,
No.
you
Yeah,
don't.
I could see that on April's face already.
Yeah, did we talk about this last week?
I don't know. I don't think we talked about this part.
Okay,
But what I was
yeah.
thinking about the fairs was, Bill and I have for years. We like to go. We don't ride anymore because it makes me sick. But we like to go and eat.
Yeah, that's. I don't trust the rides.
But we trust the food.
Yeah, but
I'm
Which is
sure
probably-
that might be the
which is
opposite.
probably that's
Worse
the
than
bad.
but I do. I really enjoy the food.
I know,
Well,
right?
now when we say food, I get French fries and probably an elephant ear or something like that. But
What's the elephant ear?
it's
Is it funnel cake?
Funnel?
it's like a solid funnel cake.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never had that.
with the powdered sugar.
Yeah,
Oh.
or chocolate or whatever you want. But it don't really look like an elephant ear, I guess. In a
So
abstract
I'm
way,
really
but-
excited to try. I got told yesterday at church by Paige, her husband, Jason, works for Pepsi, and they're sponsoring one of the sponsors. So he had to work yesterday out at the fair and bring all the stuff in. Anyway, she said, Dana, when you go in out of the Midway building, she said, go immediately to the left, and there is a little stand there this year, and they are selling frozen. It's like a frozen cheesecake dipped in chocolate.
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Yeah, I'm all
And
over
she
that.
said it's huge, this big old huge hunk of. She said you have got to get that.
Yeah.
That's probably what, $17 or something.
I don't know, but I can guarantee you I will
Hey,
be
they're
getting one
giving
of
you a
those.
deal on getting the people in though, so
Yeah,
you can
no
buy the
excuses.
food.
Yeah, right.
I like them fried Oreos and stuff like
I've
that.
Tell me
never had
about
that.
that because Kylie, my parents just took all 4 of the kids
Right.
to the fair on Friday night, I think it was, and Kylie said we had funnel cake and cotton candy and corn dog and all that. She said, but I wanted a fried Oreo, and I said, girl, can't you be grateful? But she said Mimi wouldn't let me get it because she said I wouldn't like it. So do they batter it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you ever dipped the Oreo in your coffee?
No.
Silence. I
But
heard
no,
crickets
I'm
right then.
thinking like that sounds
If you
really
take-
good.
Yeah, if you take Oreo and dip it in your coffee or anything warm,
I do milk, but yeah.
and pop it in your mouth, it's just like that. It's a little piece of heaven.
Oh my gosh! Don't tell Kylie; she
I'm
will
a-
just be worse about
I'm
that.
a sausage dog and vinegar fries.
Yeah, I love vinegar fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
and you know,
sounds
I've
good.
tried it at the house because I love French fries. I've tried it at the house and it just
It ain't
don't
the
work.
same.
It's not the same.
Uh,
Some malt vinegar.
yeah, well, I mean, I've got this vinegar, I got a fry cutter, I got French fry cutter, I got all that. It just isn't the same
I don't-
without
yeah.
the noise and the
Yeah,
smells.
yeah, I
and
hear
the,
ya.
You know, same way with sausage dog. I love sausage dogs too. But
So those folks watching now, what would be your favorite fair food? Let us know. Like I mentioned last week, I'm a big kid. I love cotton candy, and I know that's like not an adult thing. I don't need much of it, just a little
Right,
taste.
just a couple
but
bites.
that and trying to think what else is good at the fair. Oh, I know what I like. I love a candy apple. And what I do, I buy it, I take it home and put it in the fridge and then cut it in little slices.
Oh, yeah.
I can't eat it right off the stick because I think you'd break your tooth off doing that. But take a candy apple home. Man, that's good stuff right there. Get it nice and cold.
Yeah, you can't beat it.
So anyway,
Definitely can't beat it.
all the good fair food and all that kind of stuff. And I told my nieces this morning, or last night, I said, listen, guys, I said, we're going to the fair. I said, but before we go, we're going to eat at the house.
Right. The
Dinner.
to get some substance.
And then when we go, I will let all of y'all can pick a candy apple or cotton candy or a funnel, whatever it is you want, and you can get one of those
one.
at
That's
the fair.
good. Yeah.
And that's it.
That sounds
Because,
fair.
I mean,
It's going to be like a lot of money.
yeah,
anyway.
right. Anyway, it's going to be,
My daddy used to do a concession business, and he'd set up at the fair every year, the Augusta Fair, and so we'd get in for free. And man, he made the little mini donuts, and so we would go out and talk to the people on the midway out there that, maybe did the vinegar fries or the sausage dogs, whatever, and we would trade
Oh.
donuts for whatever they had.
That's
Right,
what I'm
right,
talking
right.
about.
Man, you talking about we ate good back
Well,
in the day.
when we first started dating, those were the days of the Hale Street Fair where your parents could get us in that back door. Oh my! I felt like a celebrity because this security guard would open this back door and we would walk right in, and get to eat whatever we wanted. Man, that was like rock star days right there.
Now, April made something a couple of Octobers ago. It was caramel apple nachos. You remember those? Mm-hmm. It was green apples with chocolate chips, caramel,
White chocolate drizzle.
yeah. Oh man,
Just, nacho chips.
No, the apples
they
were
were apple
considered.
nachos.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was a pretty dessert. There were probably pecans over it. It just
I
looked
can see
really.
I could see
it
Bill.
was a fair
At
time.
first, Bill's look was like over nacho chips.
I don't know. It might be good on
Do you
nacho
know,
chips.
I'm going to share this. This is a quick snack you can make if you want something fun, and the kids can help you. Get some tortillas, the circular tortillas. Cut those with a pizza cutter into the little triangles. You can fry those things and roll them in cinnamon sugar, and boom, you're done. You've got sweet chips. That's a good little snack you can make with your kids right at home. And it's kind of like a fair type snack. We've done that before, and it's cheap and it's quick. Don't let the kids do the frying. Morning Manna did not tell you to let your child do the frying, but that's a good little snack we've done
A
too.
couple of shout outs. Laurie Turner says, "Good morning, everyone."
Hey, Laurie.
And it seems like we should be related for some reason, but
What's up, Brian Davenport, too?
Danette Rose says, "Vinegar and fries is like manna from heaven."
Lori
I
said,
had never heard of the combo until I moved to South Carolina, but they need to upsize that little
Cone.
cup. Yeah.
Yeah, they
They
do
put those
give you a
shovels in.
little.
Hey, speaking of food and stuff like that, I had a lady at Sam's the other day that they were going through. I was at the self-checkout relieving for lunch. This lady goes by and she bought this jumbo, her and her husband, this jumbo box of honey buns. I love honey buns.
Yeah,
Heated up
me
in the
too.
microwave. And
Me
she
too.
said,
They're good.
so we're standing there. I said, "Oh, honey buns, y'all making me hungry." She
Yeah.
She said, "Let me tell you something." She said, "Have you ever tried take a honey bun?"
Oh, gosh.
Fried.
And no, because this is going to sound really
We are in the
weird. This is
South,
going
so
to
it's
sound
gotta be
really
fried.
weird.
Okay.
But you take a honey bun, she said, and lay it on a plate, she said, and take a piece of sliced cheese and put it on top of the honey bun and put it in the microwave and heat it up and let the cheese melt on top of it.
Now, it depends on the cheese, too, I would think.
I don't
I
know
think
it
you ain't
don't.
going. Now, I think brie would be good, like a brie kind of cheese.
No, they just
I
said
ain't doing
cheddar
che-
cheese.
Ooh.
And she said,
Oh, I
I
bet that's
promise
good.
you, if you do it, you will love it. So this is a challenge to everybody out there.
Yeah.
Okay. If you get a honey bun this week,
Take a picture.
and take a picture, melt you some cheese on it, and let us know if it's cheddar cheese or what kind. And tell, because I'm thinking about doing that, just
Now,
to
I've
try
done-
it and see.
She
a guy
was
at work
messing
told
with
me
you,
about
Dana.
we
better
were talking
not
about
have been
tomato
messing with you.
sandwiches,
Uh-huh.
and he said he didn't like tomato sandwiches, but he likes to take a piece of bread and then you put mayonnaise, and you put your slice of tomato, salt and pepper, and then a piece of cheese on that, and put it in the oven.
Oh,
and
that
put
sounds
it on
great.
broil.
That sounds good.
Put it on broil until the cheese melts around the
That sounds
tomato.
delicious.
Now that was good.
Yeah, but it's also a tomato sandwich, so the fella
Yeah, I
needs
know.
to.
But
Right.
hey,
Well, I'm
he
telling
invented
you.
something new.
I mean, this lady and her husband both were like, "You need to try it. I promise you, you will love it." So you know what? That might
I
just
need
be
you
my
to take a
goal this
picture of
week.
that and post it on our page too.
Now, honey bun, yeah. Now, you can try cheese. I'm going to try like a chocolate sauce, maybe something like that. But
No,
There-
you have to try. Look,
can
Donna
buy-
says I ain't doing
I
it.
ain't-
Dang,
I
okay,
ain't doing it.
Okay, here's the
There's
thing.
other-
I'm going to do it this week, and I'm going to take a picture, and I'm going to show y'all.
Dana
there's-
is doing her
there's-
joy challenge.
There's
We'll try
other
it.
desserts out there with cheese on it. So
Hey,
I
listen,
can
I had a
understand
friend
someone saying
growing
that.
up.
Yeah, I just
That
don't
you
know about
this
cheddar.
this sounds pretty gross too, but it's actually pretty good. I grew up with a friend. She lived behind us. We used to hang out, and she would do peanut butter and jelly and sliced cheese on a sandwich.
What is
No,
wrong with
that's just-
people?
No, I'm
that's
telling you, it
crazy.
was good.
Oh, gosh.
It was good. But anyway,
So, what's your weird snack? Let
now,
us know.
One of my favorite honey buns is you get them from Greg's Gas. The creamy curls. It's a honey bun with Boston cream and chocolate.
Yeah.
Good gosh, we
Man.
sound. I'm
I
telling
am
you,
so
if-
hungry.
If some of our healthy eater people are tuning in,
Please forgive us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I said earlier, we're transparent.
That's funny.
Now, Lori Turner says she's watching from Columbus, Ohio.
Good morning,
Cool.
Lori. All
Amy,
right.
Amy Hughes is watching. Hey,
Good
darling.
morning, Miss Amy.
Now, Mary Hannah says they've done the Krispy Kreme cheeseburgers.
I've
It's
seen
delicious.
that.
Mm.
I just now I'm all for Krispy Kreme and I'm all for hamburgers, and even together I just couldn't. Now I take my chances with cholesterol and all
I
that.
know, it feels like a
with chicken wings.
heart attack on a plate,
You
kind of.
know, I don't mind taking a chance with chicken wings, but the Krispy Kreme burger, that's just like saying, to me, that's spinning the revolver. And
Yeah,
Okay,
kind of
and you've
so-
got to weigh that out. So, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
All right, so here you go. Here's a good challenge this week for all of you watching on Facebook. If you eat something that is would sound very weird and out of the ordinary,
Yeah.
and you have that this week, take a picture of it,
Yes.
send it, post it on our page, and tell us what, and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Whoever has the weirdest, you never
Yeah,
know. You
you
might
never
win
know.
something.
But I'm definitely going to do the honey bun and cheese this week just because, and I'll let y'all know.
This isn't weird, I don't think, but I take chips and dip them in Nutella. But I think that's probably pretty
what
normal.
kind of chips?
Talking
about potato
not
chips?
sour cream and cheddar.
Just
Yeah,
regular
potato,
Lay's?
just plain chips, salty, good chips dipped in Nutella.
Now, I've never done that, but I could understand
It
it.
seems
because,
normal.
Because whenever I have something salty, I
That
like
sounds
to have
kind of
chocolate.
weird
Yeah.
to me too, though.
That's April's go-to.
like
She loves
salt-
chips.
If I love
salty.
chips.
So, see,
I
I
like
like-
My snacks are salty.
When we go to the movie theater, it's popcorn, and I got to have goobers. You know, the
yeah,
chocolate
now
peanut.
the
you know.
sweet and the salty. Oh yeah.
So I think it goes.
I like
Like milk
chips and
duds.
sour cream and onion dip. I ain't
Oh
too
yeah,
much
that
on
sounds.
Okay, anyway, so food.
Yay!
But anyway, we love fair
I
food.
love
We
the
love the fair.
challenge.
And I was just wondering, if y'all ride anymore. I love to ride, but it makes me sick, so I can't ride.
Yeah.
But I still love it. I wish I could. Because I love the higher, the faster, the most spinny, whatever.
You might could do a scopolamine patch.
No, that ship at the fairs.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's of the devil. Right?
Is that the one that brings you out of your seat?
I gotta.
No, I do not like those things.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you a real quick story about this. I was down at Myrtle Beach for a family reunion. One of my cousins brought this pretty little girl with him, so I had to, I was trying to court her. We went to the pavilion, and they just got that boat in. And I said, well, it's just swinging. And she said, we need to sit in the back.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah.
She said, that's where it really feels good. And I was thinking, okay. And I, even as a teenager, I thought of myself as a manly man. So they cranked that thing up. And I said, well, this ain't bad. Well, we got to I guess it's called the apex. And my behind came off the seat.
Yes, it does.
I was like, I went from manly man to girly girl real quick. I started saying, you better shut this right now. You better shut this right now.
Right.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
Right now. This girl was like looking at me like, what have I done?
Yeah. Yeah. She moved on to your cousin.
Yeah, she went to another cousin.
I love it.
It was
Oh my
awful.
gosh,
I
that's
never.
funny.
I was like, oh my god, I rode that wooden roller coaster and did everything.
The boat is bad.
I
You
said,
know what
I
else is
think
bad?
it's cool.
The tilt-a-whirl is awful because
I
you
love the
think you're
tilt-a-whirl.
good. You're like, oh man, I got this. Put your hands in the air like you're just so good. And it sucks
Sucks
it out of
your
you.
body down into your feet, and it's like, and then you're good again. Oh, it's good.
I'm finding the older I get, I can't do around and around stuff.
Me,
I
yeah.
can't.
Oh,
My favorite
you're
was
straight
always I loved the scrambler.
I used to love that too, but
Yeah.
the person on the outside is gonna get smushed
Yeah,
big
but
time.
coming towards people, I'd always stick my hand out.
That's funny.
Scramblers-
So,
that's
do y'all
good.
love the
That's
fair?
funny.
Those of you watching, who goes to the fair? Let us know if you do. Just
Now,
fun
Mary
of your
Hannah.
favorite food at the fair too.
Yeah, Mary Hannah said plain chips dipped in ketchup. Now you're the only other person I've heard, because I do that. To me, that's a good little snack. So, way to go, Mary.
I love it.
Amy says, I agree, April. I had to ride it every year and then throw up. Never again.
And then there's that Himalaya they have out,
I love that
That ain't
because of
bad.
the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because they
Well,
always
you
had to
do
rock
it.
the
Here's
music.
they always had to mess it up. You go forward and they do it, and then
They go
you didn't
backwards.
realize you were on the one back. Well, the backwards was just overload. By the
'Cause your
time you
body goes,
You're going.
"Ooh."
Yeah, you're like, okay.
I think it does something to your psyche, is what it is. Because it
Nah.
makes you nauseous when they start going backwards.
Did y'all ever ride that thing? It was just like a metal round thing, and it spun, and you supposed to could lean out or something.
Oh, that was the Gravitron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ride
Sounds
that?
like a transformer.
Yeah, well, I'm a rules follower, and if you're supposed to just stand up and be straight, you stand up and be straight.
Yeah.
And people getting
You're supposed to,
sideways
like,
on
stick
it and all
yourself
that.
on the wall.
Now, her brother will, he'll try anything, so I can see him getting upside down in it.
Right.
Do y'all remember the ride called the Roundup? it was one of those. It was round. You stood up in it, and the thing as it started going up like this, and you're standing and it's spinning round and round like that.
I've
Y'all
seen
remember
that.
at
I've
the
never
fair?
ridden that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And I always tried to avoid the soak the bloke, the clown, the
yeah,
clown
you don't
that
like
would
to be embarrassed by that
yeah.
crazy.
Oh, we
Oh,
used
man,
to. Well, we
yeah.
avoided that, but we used to love to stand at the end where they had that haunted house, and people would ride through that thing, and the guy would always be in different places when they come out to scare them, and they wouldn't be expecting him. We would stand there forever and just
Just
laugh.
watch and laugh at the
Yeah.
people.
I
I
wouldn't
like
get on
watching.
it,
I
but-
like watching the people come off of that spinny thing on the fun house because they look at it like, oh, I got this. Ain't nothing to this.
Yeah, 'cause
And then they
the
step
kids
on
will
it.
be like, "Ooh,"
and boom, they're down.
and then the father.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
So
that
anyway.
little what did you call him? Soap the dope or
Soap
dopey
the bloke,
soapy?
yeah.
I always enjoyed him.
But I like to watch him, but
From a
I try to
distance.
avoid him, like, because he would insult everybody
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would go. And I remember one year, the guy he insulted this guy's girlfriend, and so the guy turned back around and said something to him. He said, "Well, do you think you could,
Yeah.
soak me or whatever? You think, come on, big boy." And it was like $10 for like 5 balls,
Yeah.
whatever. And that guy spent, I bet he spent $60
$100.
bucks.
That was very
Yeah.
effective
That's-
strategy.
Oh, yeah.
That's the point.
And that guy
Yeah.
said, "Keep on, buddy. You go spend your whole paycheck." I mean, but that
And
was
everybody's standing there
That's what he
Didn't
wanted.
he make fun of your brother with the stroller one
Yeah,
time, or
he-
his bald spot, or
yeah,
something?
he made fun of my brother, and
He was like, "Take
it
the
was-
stroller. Go
yeah,
ahead,
yeah,
big
yeah,
boy."
Yeah, push that stroller, big boy. I mean,
I used to love him. Though.
Oh, gosh, but anyway, I just love this time of year and fairs and stuff like that.
I've
and
always
food,
loved the
so-
fair. Fair has always been, now Christmas time's always been depressing to me, but fair time, it's like, yay.
See,
fair
we
time.
love fair time because my parents take all the kids out for an entire night to the fair. So
y'all
we
just get
I
a
think
night,
because
yeah.
of our lifestyle. I think we would like going to the fair, but right now we would prefer laying on the couch. So it's like they get to go and do that and have fun.
You get to sit at home and
we
do
had
nothing.
we had Japanese food that night and ate alone, and oh my gosh, it was
Now, see,
wonderful.
Even if we don't go to the fair, we always, and Dana don't understand it, but we always ride by it. Always. If
That's
we decide,
another word.
If we decide, okay,
You just
we're
want to
not
look at
going
the
to go,
light. Look at
I'm riding by it.
I hear you.
I tried to get them to go last night. Let's go look at the lights tonight, and then we'll go tomorrow. No, ain't happening.
Yeah. So I
Are
get
you
it.
kidding? We already got our pajamas on. No, we don't.
Yeah, but that'd have been fun. But that comes from, as a child, we would drive to Augusta. We did Augusta Fair, State Fair, and Aiken Fair. We did all of them. But as a child, I can remember, coming down the hill.
You'd peek
was
that
that
hill and you
excitement.
saw the Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the double Ferris wheel was always at Augusta, and it was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Here it comes. Get more and more excited because back then I had the primo seat of sitting up on the top shelf in the back seat.
Of the station wagon.
Yeah,
Yes,
so-
yes. I had the seat down in the flow boat is what I used to call it.
So
I could feel the
I could
engine.
I could see it before anybody else.
That's
but,
awesome. That's funny. Yeah.
And same way with Aiken Fair. I mean, pulling up to it was just magical. State
Oh,
Fair
that's
was
sweet.
always amazing too.
Never
so.
been to the state fair.
Oh, that's really amazing
My
in
father
Columbia.
my father would drive all the way around it, and I mean, it would kill us. Pull
Oh,
in,
that's
pull
so
in, and
sweet.
he'd
And what
drive
he
all
doesn't
the way
realize
around.
is he does
Yeah,
the
he's the
same
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. Anticipation.
Yeah.
I'm like, would you just park the car, please, and let's
Yeah.
go?
It sounds
Of
like
course,
a
I would say-
little bit like Griswold.
But when the kids get to screaming, it's aggravation.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's good. I get to scream.
Lori
Pull in,
says she
pull
goes
in.
for the food. I hear you, girl. So do we now. So anyway, I'm kind of looking forward to that tonight. I will eat my dinner at home, but I'm going to save room for a few things at the fair. And we'll get it while the kids are on the rides, so they won't necessarily know that we're getting
True
one.
that. True
Yeah,
that.
so we got some
You
friends.
just described our whole life.
Yeah, we got some friends out there. Their band will be there tonight. Third
Yeah.
Time Charmer, so we'll get to see
We'll stop
that
by
too.
and say hey to them. So we're
So,
excited. Anyway, we just want to talk about fair because this time of year, it's the change of seasons and, things are changing, weather's changing, the fairs are in town. It's time to do all that fall celebrating. So anyway, let's move on, guys. Community happenings brought to you by Aiken Furniture Company.
All right, I've got one, but y'all go ahead if you got one. It snuck up on me. I'm sorry.
I want to announce that everyone is invited out on November 3rd, and this will be a recurring thing every month, the first Friday night of, November 2nd, and it will be recurring the first Friday night of each month. And it's going to be our men's/women's ministry meeting at church at CSRA Worship Center. And what we're going to do is we're going to offer a meal for the whole family, so bring your kids out too. And then at that point, the men and the women will split off. We have a speaker that will be for the men and that will be for the women each and every month. And the children will also have child care provided. We ask for a $2 donation for each child if you're able to do that. And we just want to invite our community to come out and check out what's happening at the CSRA Worship Center on 116 Wildy Drive in North Augusta. Thank you.
All right.
And for those that know, like the Belvedere, North Augusta area, if you turn right at the Pot Smoker Barbecue,
You dare.
you there.
That's right.
All right. I didn't know if y'all knew it or not, but we have a new church in town, and it's called New Direction,
Okay.
and it is pastored by a friend of mine named Marlon Hudson,
That's cool.
and they are doing a food drive,
Okay.
a Thanksgiving food drive 2018. Now, it starts, I'm trying to read this and talk at the same time. They'll be accepting donations October 22nd, 2018 through November 17th, 2018.
Wow.
Now you can drop off, I'm trying to find out what they want dropped off. You can drop off your canned food items such as corn, peas, green bean stuffing, rice, yam, potatoes, and cornbread, or whatever God lays on your heart to give. And they're accepting the donations at the Fully Armored Christian Bookstore. And that, as we know, is right behind Chili's
Okay.
here in Aiken. So remember that. It's New Directions is doing a Thanksgiving food drive. You can drop your non-perishables off at Fully Armored Christian Bookstore, who are dear friends of ours also. So
Amen.
if God lays it on your heart, please take some canned goods over there.
Yeah.
Or anything that, if you
Non-perishable. That's
yeah,
right.
if you don't have canned goods, if you're a single person, don't really eat at the house, take them some money.
That's right.
So-
They can use money.
And while you're in Fully Armored, if you're looking for a new devotional, I know there's a great one there by a local author. It's called Seated in the Clouds Rolling on There.
Yes,
Check it out
that
today.
is. It really is. You need to stop by Fully Armored and check them out.
They've got
Tell them you heard about them on Your Morning
Yes,
Manna.
please do.
And you can find a variety of great things in that store. So please check them
yeah.
out. Also, I want to give a shout out real quick. Donna King says that Gerald Crabb will be at Bath Pentecostal Holiness Church on November the 11th at 11 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And then 6 p.m. on November 13th at 6 p.m.
Okay, now that's Jason's Crab's family, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's his daddy. That's
That's
his
it,
daddy.
Daddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, he's going to be there. So y'all be sure and check that out. And Donna, if you get a chance, go to our WCC community news page and put that on there, and I will post it out too from there. So we're excited about that, and I want to give a shout out to Aiken Furniture Company for sponsoring our community happening segment.
Hi, this is Michelle Curls. Jeremy and I are the owners of Aiken Furniture Company. We have a new name, new location with new looks for your living room, dining room, bedroom, and we also have mattresses. We are located at 2535 Whiskey Road in Aiken Exchange Shopping Center beside Target. If you come to our store and mention that you heard our commercial on Your Morning Manna, whether on the radio or Facebook, we will give you 10% off an order, $499 and up. So come check us out, and we look forward to seeing you.
Hi, this is Addison. Come see my mom and dad for quality furniture at discounted prices.
Summer or winter, Facebook or Twitter, steak or chicken wings. It could be so many things. Right here on This or That with the crew. What will you choose? What will you choose today?
Alrighty. It's this or that. And as I walked out this morning, it was cold, and my mind immediately went to a bonfire.
That sounds
Yeah,
good.
I like bonfire.
And so, can you change that camera angle, please?
I didn't even set that
Yeah.
camera angle up. I went to click it to put it on Dana, and whoever was here last, I thought you looked nice.
Where was that camera coming from?
It's
Right
right
here.
there in front of you.
I don't know. I felt like it was right on my nose.
It was zoomed in,
Yeah,
too.
it was.
I didn't do that. I just
So, so would you rather sit outside at a bonfire or a campfire, or would you rather sit inside around a fireplace?
Okay. Well, if it's not snowing outside, if it's
Right.
snowing, I'd like to be inside. Or
But otherwise,
any dampness.
the,
I can't deal with dampness.
Right,
but
rain
But
or
just
what.
in general, what
in
would
general,
be your?
outside because of the smell, and if the breeze changes, you get beat up with the smoke. It's just outside.
You like the smoke getting your eyes?
well, no, but it's part of it.
It's
You've
part
gotta
of the.
deal with it.
I have many
Yeah.
a times would have to run around a fire 10 times
Yeah.
because the wind just.
That is aggravating when it starts blowing your eyes. So you go on the other
So you
side,
move
and then
your
it goes.
chair.
It always follows you.
Yeah.
But the main reason I
true.
say that is because to me, you've got to roast marshmallows
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
You can't do it inside. You can't do it over the gas stove.
I like them both.
Yeah.
But there is something nice about outside because it's like you're still a little bit cold, but you're a little bit warm
It's
too.
kinda,
So
yeah.
there's a little
It's the
bit of a battle there,
experience.
but it's a battle that I'm okay with.
Right. Because you look at it for a little while, and then you turn around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you turn back around.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would prefer the outdoors as well because I like an indoor fire as far as the beauty of it, but it gets so hot so fast to me indoors that I can't escape from it. And also, it kind of smells up the house, whether you've got gas logs or real logs, So, anyways, I'm going to go with outdoors. And I'm like Bill, I like to, roast marshmallows in it or hot dogs or just have fun, play a guitar. Not me personally. Working on that, but have someone play acoustic guitar and sing around the campfire or whatever, stuff like that.
Dana?
Okay, I'm going to be the odd one out here. I prefer to be inside, listening to a crackling fire, laying on my sofa with a book or a TV or something, and just being inside. I am not much. Bill tell you this. We go up to see our kids, and they're all big outdoorsy fire people. And I'm just, I can do it for just a little bit, and then I'm like over it. I'm like, I'm ready to go in. I just don't.
You don't have patience and stuff like that.
I just don't care for that. I mean, I'd rather be comfortable, cozy on a couch.
See,
I love
would
to hear the fire crackling.
I would
and the
prefer
fire.
that if it didn't get so hot.
Yeah.
It just doesn't get very cold here in the South, but I might could crack my window.
But now here's the thing that you'll laugh, and people that have to, like when we were at Kyle and them's and they were doing a big bonfire, but they were doing it for a purpose. They were burning a bunch of things. Oh, I was all on that, boy, because I was bringing stuff and
Yeah, it
helping
was purposeful.
It was
Yeah.
purposeful, but just to just say we're sitting around a bonfire and just kind of like sitting, singing Kumbaya and all that stuff. That's just not my thing.
Forte.
Yeah. What about y'all on Facebook? Donna says, like bonfires back in the day, but fireplace now. That's what I'm talking about, girl. Allison likes a campfire. I have so many great memories of sitting around campfires. I just, we used to go to the lake.
Yeah.
And every night we would have a fire, even in the summertime. I mean, it's just something about having to have a
the
fire
light
outside,
of
the
it.
light of it. Girl, light. Let's remember that's going to go with the light of the campfire.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Dave was going, Dana, yeah.
That's right.
Did y'all see what Joanne put?
We did not. What did Joanne put?
Joanne said, propane fireplace, wood smoke and I don't get along.
Yeah, I agree.
Now her daughter says campfire. I have
That's
so many great
funny.
memories sitting around
Aw,
campfire.
Well, if we've been to places and it's freezing outside, you're at a bonfire or whatever. So you stand in the front and get warm, and then the back of you gets cold. So then you turn around to the back, and then you have
That's
to
what
get.
makes it wonderful.
And then, and then here comes the smoke. So you move over here. I'm just not.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah, but see, now you can be like poor old Amy. I love both, but living in Florida, I long for just the opportunity to
Right.
have any fire.
Right.
So,
Yeah, right.
and I keep on getting a thing that says Donna King mentioned me in a comment, and I've yet to see any.
You've yet to
So
say.
keep mentioning me, Donna, I guess. So, it ain't come up. So I'll answer you afterwards, I guess. But yeah, I love an outdoor.
Yeah.
Outdoor for sure instead of indoor. I mean, indoor is nice, but to me, unless you got a big one and can look out the window as it's snowing, the snow coming down.
Like for example, there's nothing better to me than like when we go out to eat and to go to Cracker Barrel
love
and
that.
have that
Right.
table right by that fireplace.
I love
so
it.
that big old stone fireplace and the fire crackling
Yeah.
and stuff, and you feel that it's like
Absolutely.
it
I
just
love it.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know,
nice.
feels all cozy. And
It
stuff.
does. I love
And
that.
it brings back memories of going to like ski up in the Poconos.
Yeah.
And, the lodges with the big
Oh man, that
fireplace.
sounds awesome.
So
Yep.
Rachel says outside, hands down. I wish I could be. I wish I could be more of an outside kind
Well,
of person.
I would
I'm
not
just-
even say I'm outdoors, but like if we're at a party and they do that outside, that sounds fun to me. Like with a bunch of group
Right,
of people,
right, right.
but like I'm not gonna like want to do it with just us. For real.
Yeah,
And
but
then you
you've
gotta
got a
deal
group.
with
You've got a big group.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, and then you got to deal with putting the fire out and all of that, and so I don't know. But I just can't do hot and smell of propane. So I'm wondering, like once you burn the propane fireplace a while, does the smell go away, or does it all? I don't know. I just can't deal.
I used to have a gas fireplace, and I don't ever remember it smelling.
Maybe mine's hooked
April's
up
got a
wrong.
very sensitive nose.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you. You're
Well, now-
so sweet. So am I nosy?
And her, yes, but in her defense, they put like garlic, essence of garlic in propane, so you can smell it. 'Cause it
Just
has
in
no
case there's a
smell.
leak, yeah.
That's the smell you smell.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So if you
Gotcha.
If you're smelling it, you
Yeah,
might
if
need
you're
to get
close
it checked
by,
out.
I do that purposefully for
right
safety.
so
Okay, that makes sense.
All right,
that's
cool.
why it's got that tainted smell to it. But it's
Great
garlic.
this or that today.
And it goes along with the cool weather and all of that.
Yeah,
It's
it
just-
does.
Now,
you know-
Amanda is watching, so let's give Amanda a chance to answer.
I know what her answer's gonna be.
Bonfire or regular fire? Amanda?
Inside fireplace,
Yeah.
or
Or
would you rather
outside.
be outside around a bonfire? I know what she's going to answer because her whole family's that way.
Yeah, but her
Well,
family might be forcing her to stand outside. She might
Yeah,
really
right.
enjoy
Okay.
inside.
Right.
Well, I was gonna say I don't even know them, but I would sense that they would, since they're outdoors type of people, that they would probably be outside.
Okay, so when we first used to start going up there, we stayed at her parents at the farm at their house, and I mean, you know, it'd be 12 o'clock at night, and they're all out there still, got this big huge bonfire going. I'm like, look, I'm going to bed.
How do they get it out so quick to go to like? How do you?
They don't put it
It's a big
out,
fire
sister.
pit.
They.
Oh,
just
it's got
burns
protection
out.
around
Yeah.
it.
No,
or
it's
something?
got rocks around
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Just
okay,
rocks
And
around
it's not
it.
going.
All the fires we did growing up had none of that. It was in our backyard,
Oh, so y'all
10
just sit
foot from our trailer.
Y'all just sit in the backyard on fire.
We did a lot of burning when I don't know if that was quite the thing, but yeah, we would cut a lot of limbs and burn 10 foot from the house.
Yeah, because
My dad would have a hose pipe.
water pump.
Like, really? The flames are reaching to the heavens.
Now I remember
Yeah, I
as,
was
as a
young.
You know my
kid,
dad, you get that.
work was just texting me, so it threw me off. As a kid, my granddad used to burn all the time with burn barrels and stuff. And but he would throw gas on it, and as a kid, that was it to see it, go up. But I remember one time he had a bunch of leaves and just a bunch of stuff, and the wind came and picked it up, and it picked it was like a flame, and it picked it up and it went, and it dropped it in another piece of the yard. And I remember we all just looked at it, didn't pay no attention to it. Well, then about 15 minutes later, we hear you hear that crackling, and it done caught the yard on fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, that as a kid, that just freaked me out. It was like, man,
I used to love that.
Oh,
So we'd put a bunch of pine straw on it so it'd start smoking real bad.
Yeah.
We'd all just sit back, and then all of a sudden, woof, flames.
I
And
remember
then,
playing with fire.
Yeah, you'd look and all the sparks going.
And I won't even let my kids hold a lighter or a match.
I know, right?
Much less light it. They can't even touch it. And I was out there, raking the fire.
I can
And they're
remember.
digging in it and all kind of stuff.
I can remember going on we went on when I was in Royal Rangers, they had these training courses that the boys could go to, and there was one that we went to, and there was a bunch of different groups from different churches, and there's one night where the boys go out and they had to set their compasses and find their way to the campsite. Okay. So we did that, and we got there one night and we had a big fire, and here comes this kid with a deodorant spray can,
Yeah.
and he went and threw it in the campfire.
Oh.
And man, thank God somebody was there with a big stick, and they hit that thing out of there because it would have exploded,
Yeah.
Oh,
Thinking,
so they
what
got
in-
to it before it did
Yeah,
anything?
I was like, what in the world are you thinking?
Did he
here
get
they
his
are.
fire badge that night?
No, I mean, but my
That would
thing
have
is,
been fun, though.
here we are. These adults are trusting us to camp on our own, and here this guy is throwing,
Well, you were
aerosol.
just following the rules.
I'm a
he's
rule
a rule
follower.
follower
Listen,
to
I
the
have to
nine.
laugh. Kyle's watching right now, so I want to say this while Kyle's watching. When we were there, I think it was last year sometime, we were helping them burn some trash, some just different stuff they'd cleaned out and trash at their house and all this stuff. And I guess there was some paint cans and different things in the fire. Took us all by surprise. So because we were just throwing, and I think after one of them exploded or something, I was like, "Oh my God, who threw that?"
Right. Did blue go all over
I was
everybody?
just kind of getting everything out of the trash can, throwing it in the fire, But anyway, it was in a bag. It was pretty
He said,
funny.
"Mom."
I know.
Hey, nothing sacred on your morning manna.
Right.
Because I grew up on Edisto Avenue, which is behind Cameron Plaza, but at the time we had a bunch of woods right beside the house, so it was always, here come the fire department. My father look
here
at me.
they come again.
Did you set the woods on fire again? Yeah.
Man, I remember my mom and daddy had these, and they still got them. These big old trees that line there.
Magnolia?
They're dry. Well, no, not magnolias, but I don't know what they are. But anyway, we were shooting fireworks one night, and there's probably about 12 of them that lined the driveway. And I shot a bottle rocket up in one of them, and it caught the thing on fire. And it was just crazy on fire. And it was just me and my brother at home that night, and they were gone.
Nice.
So, man, we was able to get it out real quick and all that.
Lord.
And my brothers, they just love to pick on me, and so they would say, "Oh man, that was Mama's favorite one of all the ones. That was her favorite
25.
one." Yeah. And man, I remember I was a little boy. I was probably 10. I cried that night. I was so scared that, number one, I was gonna get a spanking, and number two, that that was Mama's favorite. But boy, that thing. It's still scarred up, I believe, but
That's something.
Kyle said, "Remember when I set the dumpster on fire at the Turner family reunion?"
At Myrtle Beach. Oh yes, son, we remember that.
And what's really bad, someone said that Ernie set a dumpster on fire at the Turner family reunion. That was normal.
That's
stuff
a normal
like that.
headline.
Yeah, but we didn't want it to happen with our kids. It might.
It was fine for the other children. but
yeah,
not
yeah.
fine.
Oh, that was funny though. But
I love how our conversations morph. It is so, just to hear the funny stories and things from campfire to dumpster on fire.
Yeah, 'cause and my father burned the yard every year to take care of the weeds and all.
Yeah.
So now on Saturday, people in this area, I don't know, maybe I'm different, but every Saturday I'd watch Soul Train, and then wrestling came on. Well, I was in charge of the fire that day.
Famous last words.
Yeah, I'm sitting there, and a buddy walked by, and he said, "I can't believe you're not watching wrestling." I said, "Wrestling's on?" He said, "Yeah." So we went on inside to watch wrestling. And I was like, "What is that noise?" Well, here comes the fire department.
fire left unattended.
Yeah, my father said, "Where were you? You were supposed to be watching." I said, "Wrestling was on."
yeah, he said Dusty Rhodes was on.
Dusty
Oh,
Road.
that's funny.
American Dream.
Man.
Yeah,
But anyway, bonfires are good. And I say that if I'm up there with our family, like you say, and they're all around the fire and all
Yeah.
that, but then after a while I get kind of bored
Yeah.
with it. I just like,
she grabs the smallest child. "Come on in, let's go
Yeah,
inside."
oh, that's
go
my
inside.
mom. Yeah. I think you look like you need to go inside.
Aren't you cold, baby? Come on in with Nana. That's
No, I'm
right.
good. Let me stay.
But anyway, so
Good,
this
good,
time
good.
of year, that's a great this or that.
That's funny. And listen, guys, right here before we move on, please share this. We want to make sure that everyone hears our word of the day and also our special guest who will be soon coming in. Paul, can you let us know her name and what ministry she has?
Her name is Kristen Barnett, and she has a ministry. The name of it is 28 Bold Ministry, and we'll ask her about that name.
Sounds good.
I know a little bit about it, so it's a really good ministry. I'm excited about having her.
So go on and share this, guys.
All right, so we're going to move on and do our word of the day. Maybe before our guest gets here, if you want to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Y'all know what time it is.
Shavu.
How does
Jabberwocky.
Fibberty Gibbert
Bartley.
Good bit, sir.
Kerfuffle.
Manuka? Word of the day. What is it at the end?
It's time for word of
There
the
it
day.
is. Yay, everybody hand clap.
We should have won one of them prizes for that.
That right?
That was good
I
stuff.
just love how we had all those people there to help us out at the
I
end.
know, right? Clapping
That's
and
good.
doing that.
Cheering.
Okay, so it's time to expand your vocabulary today.
All right.
So here's the rule. Those of you on Facebook, those of you on the radio, if you're listening, here's the only rules. You can't Google it. Do not look it up. This is for fun.
Yeah.
Okay?
Don't
So
get
first thing we're
nothing
going
if
to
you
do is
want.
our spelling. So if you're watching and you want to try to spell this word, go ahead and type it into the Facebook feed, and we'll let you know if you get it right or not. But today's word is taradiddle. Taradiddle. Dun, 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 dun. Taradiddle. Y'all got your spelling? You ready? Who wants to go first?
Yeah, ready with
I'll
spelling.
go.
Okay.
With spelling, right?
Uh-huh.
I got TERRADITAL.
Okay.
I put TERRADIDAL.
TERRADIDAL.
Taradiddle.
Okay, we got some. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
And we got
Let's
some
see.
people
You guys
on.
rock.
Is anybody correct online?
Okay, let's see.
She's not
Kyle,
voting.
Keep it
Kyle
coming.
done
Keep it coming, y'all. Keep it coming.
TERADITTLE. Okay, that's not it. TAREDYDLE. That's not it.
Okay, well, spell it for
Yeah,
us.
tell us what it is.
Okay, so the correct spelling is, are y'all ready? It's TARADIDDLE.
Now, come on. That's what I thought
Oh,
originally.
you need to.
But I
you
thought-
need to start
thought-
pronouncing it right.
Taradiddle.
Well, I thought with that.
Taradiddle.
Yeah, but you should have said
But that- I mean-
taradiddle.
That's what I thought originally. I thought, well, that's just too simple.
Taradiddle.
Well, I was thinking terra as in terrestrial, as in terrain, as in wrong, because that's TERR. So now my meaning is off.
Okay, so now you
So
know the
it's
correct
TARA.
spelling. TARADIDDLE.
And
What a Garrett.
I guess the P is silent.
It
Love
looks
it,
like
love
a
it,
dinosaur to
Oh,
me.
that's funny.
Yeah,
Love it.
Okay,
Baby
so
pterodactyl. That's
I
fine.
guess the closest
And no
one on the
clues.
spelling would be Jen because she just got the first TE wrong, but the rest of it was right.
So we're going to give you the prize for spelling.
That's
Jen.
right. TARADIDDLE.
Taradiddle.
Taradiddle. Okay, so anybody want to give a guess on to what the definition of this word
I'm
is?
gonna
No
say
hints.
somebody-
No hints at all.
No hints.
I'm gonna say somebody who, or somebody who just drags their feet, doesn't get a
Okay.
procrastinator
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
another
yeah.
word for a procrastinator. Okay.
to procrastinate.
All right.
Something like that.
I will say when someone is in a state of boredom and they begin to just sketch little items on a sheet of paper, like a little, like when Tara doodles, taradiddle.
Okay, the
Okay.
taradiddle. Okay.
I'm gonna be strong with that.
All right, strong with that one. Okay.
I want to say a slow song.
A slow song.
Okay.
A taradiddle, a slow song. Okay. Any guesses on
All right,
Facebook?
y'all. What's it mean, guys?
Y'all
Let
have
us
any
know.
Rachel put the correct spelling on there. Okay,
Thank you,
so,
Rachel.
So here is the definition of the word taradiddle, so y'all can expand your vocabulary today.
Nervous.
And I will have to say that everyone in their lifetime has probably done this. Okay.
Oh, that's a good hint.
Okay.
Now, what would we say to that?
What would you say to that?
I got a lot of stuff going through my head.
I would say tell a lie.
Okay, so here we go. Y'all ready? This word references someone or something that is filled with pretentious nonsense or something that is a lie.
Wow.
An example of this would be the classic fisherman's tale of how big the fish was that he
Oh,
caught.
so it would be called a taradiddle if he
It's a
said that.
taradiddle.
So basically, anytime a Turner is talking to you, he's taradiddling.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Let me
yeah,
tell you
so
this.
tell a lie. So that
So it is. It's
Okay.
kind of
Yeah.
it's kind
an
of like
embellishment.
To
an
taradiddle.
embellishment.
I mean, if
Pretentious
you
Be
go-
nonsense.
unpretentious. I don't know what that means.
but if you go into the store and see something funny, you always add to it.
True that.
So,
True that.
So some people do a lot of taradiddling.
So this is legit.
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like, I saw whatever. Yeah, I really did. I mean,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
fish I caught weighed 15 pounds,
Yeah.
but I released it. I didn't take
Now,
a picture,
Yeah.
In my case, my taradiddles get more taradiddly
Diddly diddly
as the
do.
story
As the
progresses.
story
Diddly
progresses,
diddly
you
lie.
were right.
Yeah, it's like 10 years ago it was one story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it-
I'd have got those
You
too.
expand on it.
It morphs into
Yeah.
something.
And it's
totally-
based on people's reactions. So you first tell the story and they're like, oh, and you're like, oh, this is good. This is
Yeah.
getting a good reaction.
Not only not only that,
Yeah. That's the worst thing somebody could do is like really get into your
Oh,
story.
I know.
Yeah, right.
I know it.
We
That's true.
Jasper, our youngest, he taradiddled
Oh, he'd be doodling
the other week with his glasses. And his glasses got a chip in them, and boy, he told a big taradiddle.
Got a chip in them.
I don't
Yeah.
even know what you're talking about.
Well, he got the little, it had a little, not a crack, but like a little chip in them.
Yeah. Well, what about?
I'm not telling a taradiddle.
Oh, no,
April's like,
no. I just want to know about these glasses. You know what I'm saying?
But originally it was that somebody knocked him down.
Oh, okay,
and
I hear you.
Somebody knocked him down and they stepped on him.
Yeah.
Oh, bless
And then it was,
y'all.
and then it
we knew
was
better than that.
somebody was wrestling with him or something at the playground, and Kylie, our oldest, she called him out on it. She's like, no, because he had told 2 different stories in the car ride within
So
like
he
a
mixed
10
up.
minute.
He mixed up his taradiddles.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think basically he tripped
Yeah.
and they fell off his face,
Yeah.
and no one was involved. But he also told Paul he got some money the other day, and he said, "Daddy, I'm so glad I got this money. I'm not even gonna have to take yours anymore."
Yeah.
Or something like that. What did he say?
Yeah.
Because
I had a-
Paul's
I had a
money jug gets lighter and
Yeah, I
lighter.
had a big old change jar, and it was getting smaller and smaller. I'm thinking, and then I go in the boys' room, and they would have all these just change, and then they cry and whine when I say that it was. I got the guesses here, so
Okay.
Good. We don't need to tell any more of that
Right.
anyways. Y'all just
Tell me
pray
more
for
of those
us and our
stories.
children.
But we talk about that. Isn't it funny how with kids though, you don't have to even teach them how to do that.
Oh, exactly. We are born to the sin nature.
Right.
We have to be readjusted to the godly nature.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, that
I
is
mean,
so
it's part
funny.
of it.
But
that
so
idea
now,
that we're all good as
so
humans.
now you can blow your kid's mind. The
Yeah.
next time they're telling you something that's not,
Taradiddle.
you can say, "Are you telling me a taradiddle?"
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
Because if you're
Yeah.
telling me a taradiddle, the belt's about to come off.
Yeah.
That
Come
was
off
always
the wall. We keep the belts hung in the
that was,
hallway.
that was always the correction for me. What'd you
Oh.
say? Well, let me tell you this.
Yeah. You have to take a moment. What are you asking me again? Just a little pause to think.
Well, what happened
Oh
was.
my gosh.
what
We used to
happened
say
was-
this. This is one thing I'll have to say about Kyle. I will tell you this.
Yeah,
And it's
Kyle,
to
Kyle told you too much of
Kyle
the truth.
would tell me the truth, and sometimes it'd be the
Uh-huh.
truth I didn't even want to
Yep,
know.
yep.
I mean, like you did not even have to tell me all that.
Absolutely.
You know,
And that can be just as worse for
I
a
know,
parent.
right? So
I remember
I-
having a
Go ahead.
having a friend, and she and I went somewhere we weren't supposed to go. And I wasn't quite born again fully, so y'all don't be judging me. I wasn't sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost yet, but I'm gonna tell you the story. So I was okay with it. I felt like we done this thing. I'm home. I'm home free. I even got a cup from the game we was supposed to be. I mean, I'm good. We get a phone call. Hey, yeah, I won't say her name. She just confessed that to us that y'all, April and her went to so and so and weren't supposed to be. She just couldn't handle the guilt of it all. Girl, what you done? Went to your house. I was good. It's like, my gosh. She done told.
Yeah,
She
got
sold
caught,
me
right?
out.
Sold you down her-
Yes, she sold me out.
that's funny. Oh my goodness. So anyway, you have expanded your vocabulary today.
Taradiddle.
Yep, taradiddle.
I like it.
Taradiddle.
Now we have, now I can share with my other family members that we've been taradiddling for a while now.
I know. I'm trying to think of the
Especially
different
me and-
parts of speech for past. What would it be? I taradiddled.
Because me and my cousin Joe, Dana and his wife were best friends, so they always, they just shake their head every time me and him start.
I mean, they
because we
start telling
always
the
add
story.
to it.
Oh no, they add, they expound to their taradiddle. I mean, it just they compound it.
When
to
people give too many details, I'm always concerned.
What's
And
bad,
it was
though?
like a Tuesday at 4:55 p.m.
I mean, but what's bad is like a year from now, if I tell you a taradiddle, it would match the taradiddle I
yeah,
told
because
you
it's
today.
done been ingrained in your mind as Terra Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Instead of a diddle, it's the terror truth. That's exactly right.
It is.
Oh, that's
gosh.
a good one, Dana. You did
Uh-huh.
great with that
Well,
word of the day.
Thank you. I'm excited about our guest that's
Yes.
here, and we're going to get her
I
set up
really
in the
wanna hear about
studio.
that.
Yeah, I want to hear about this ministry. Listen, guys, we've got like 14 to 16 people on Facebook. I promise you, we're going to take like a 1 minute
Yeah, we're
break,
just gonna
long
get her
enough to
set
get her
up.
set up in here in the studio, and we're going to come right back because you don't want to miss this part. And then after that, we're going to we still got our Speak Life, and we've got a cool little short video
Oh,
we want to show you on that
guys.
and have some roundtable discussion.
And Mania Minute.
And our
We've
Mania
got a
Minute
lot to work
today.
in. Yeah, y'all don't go nowhere.
Listen, let me give you a clue on our Mania Bennett. The title of it today is Get to Know Your Crew.
Getting to know you. Getting to
So,
know
y'all
all
do not want to miss
about
that.
you.
It's
That's
going to
today?
be, that's today.
Let me get
It's
my
gonna be
taradiddles
great.
ready.
All right, y'all don't go nowhere.
We're going to do a song, and we'll be back in just a second as soon as I can find a song on here. Here we go.
This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Has made. Clap your hands, oh ye people. Shout unto God with a voice of triumph. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice. Say rejoice. Rejoice, everybody rejoice. With hands of praise. Rejoice, everybody rejoice. I'm gonna rejoice. Rejoice, everybody rejoice. Never come my way. Rejoice, everybody rejoice. Rejoice. Rejoice, everybody rejoice. Rejoice. Rejoice, everybody rejoice. I got a reason to rejoice. Rejoice, everybody rejoice. Rejoice. Rejoice, everybody rejoice. The good times and the bad I will. Rejoice, everybody rejoice. Rejoice. Rejoice, everybody rejoice. Rejoice, I will rejoice. I will rejoice. For he has made me glad. I will rejoice. Turn my mourning into dance. I will rejoice. I will rejoice. I will rejoice. Don't you know that I will? I will rejoice. For he has made me glad. I will rejoice. Don't you know that I will? I will rejoice. I will rejoice. Don't you know that I will? I will rejoice. The joy of the Lord is my strength. I will rejoice. I will rejoice. I will rejoice. And again I say, for he's made me glad.
And you are listening to Your Morning Manna right here on Facebook Live and on 99.9 FM WUCC Williston. It's 9:13 here at the top of the 9 o'clock hour, and we want you to share the Facebook Live if you are watching right now. We're going to share ours too because that's going to re-up it to the feed. And at this time, Paul's going to welcome our special guest.
Yep, y'all welcome back, and we are glad to have in studio with us Miss Kristen Barnett, correct?
Yes.
You made me nervous how you
I know.
Well,
I was like,
for
I had her
effect.
dad's
you was thinking of
name
Lambert,
on my mind,
right?
but yeah, I was supposed to go back, yeah. And this is the first time we've met Kristen, where I have come to find out, small world.
I know.
Dana's known her since she was 10.
Yeah,
so.
she was a young girl. I mean, I haven't seen her in years, but
Yeah.
down at Crawford Avenue Church of God,
Yeah.
we used to go to church with her parents. So I knew when your dad came here and they started medical school.
It's crazy.
So isn't that crazy? Small
So she
world.
is the daughter of Dr. Jerry Lambert, who is my primary physician and great man of God,
Amen.
Clemson lover.
Yes.
And so,
Bless his heart.
yeah.
We'll keep praying for y'all.
And so- oh, you're not a Clemson fan?
I'm not.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Who are you? Please don't tell me Georgia.
Okay.
So
she's-
we'll keep going then.
But the last time I went and visited him, we got talking about the Lord, and he started bragging on his daughter. And I said, man, we got a radio show. I've got to have her on. And so Kristen, tell us a little bit about yourself and then about the ministry.
Yeah. Well, my name's Kristen Barnett, and I actually live in Augusta and Grovetown. And I am married and have 3 children. And I actually, when people hear about 28 Bold, the nonprofit that I have, they think that I do it for full time, but I actually work full time for Encompass Home Health. We serve senior citizens. But I started the nonprofit out of a love for missions and a love for spreading the gospel and really being able to bring that to people in a practical way by filling a need. So 28 Bold is a 501c3 approved nonprofit that began 2 years ago now, actually. And well, it began before that, but it's been official for 2 years. And we serve people on the continent of Africa and do water relief. So that's kind of the nutshell version.
Okay, explain water relief.
Okay. So many people in the United States kind of don't even have a concept of this, but most of the world, 3 billion people actually do not have access to clean water. And so what happens is the men go to work and the women and children end up spending hours a day walking, transporting water, high prevalence of waterborne illnesses, malnutrition, dehydration, all these things happen. And so, especially in Africa, it happens all over the world, but my focus is in Africa, and it looks different in different areas. The wells that we've done have been in South Africa, but I also have slated Madagascar, Mozambique, and Zambia. And so in each of those areas, it will look different. Madagascar is a rainforest, so they have lots of water around. They just don't have ways to capture it, contain it, and distribute it in a clean way. In South Africa, it's much drier, and they get about 70% of their rainfall within like a 60-day window out of the whole year. Wow. And so during that time, they will get a lot of rainfall, but obviously containing all that rainfall in a short amount of time for the whole year is really difficult. So it looks different in different areas, but to this point, it's looked like wells.
Okay, so but you adapt to each area.
That's right.
Okay.
So I want to ask you though, I'm just curious, how did the name 28 Bold Ministry come about? I think that's a cool name.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, so it comes from Proverbs 28, which was a scripture that kind of stood out to me in multiple ways. As 28 Bold was kind of developing, and Proverbs 28 says, the righteous are as bold as a lion. And it kind of started as a joke almost. I was initially not set out to do a nonprofit. I really initially kind of bonded with a community in South Africa on a mission trip and was just trying to help them.
Right.
And called all around these different water nonprofit companies, and nobody would do it or didn't have the resources or whatever. And finally, I was inspired by a book by Bob Goff, and in the book, he writes all these letters to people all over the world, these world leaders, and he takes his kids to meet the Prince of Egypt and all these people. And I was like, well, I'll just try to get in touch with the president of South Africa. You know, I mean, what could happen? They say no, you know. And I actually did have communication with the Minister of Water in South Africa, and when I told the local pastor what I was doing, he said, okay. Well, all I can say is Proverbs 28, the righteous are as bold as a lion.
That's right.
And so it just kind of stuck. And when we needed a name for the nonprofit, my sister actually thought of it.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what it comes from.
Wow, I just think that's so cool.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
Is
that
your
is
sister
cool.
Megan? Remember?
She is.
She is
Uh-huh.
on now and commenting.
Oh,
so
hey,
that's good.
Megan.
Follow at 28 Bold.
Yep, she's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's kind of my right-hand buddy for 28 Bold.
That's good. It's family.
That's cool.
you know.
That is so awesome.
Now, your dad was mentioning to me that over there in Africa that the government will control the water. Is that
Yes. So not the wells that I
Yes,
dig, but the water that is there, which is still extremely limited. So in fact, one of the last wells that I just did in May, there was a well nearby, but what happens is when the government drills it, the government there, God bless them, is very corrupt, as many governments are. And so they will, if it gets low or if a city makes them upset or if something goes wrong, they just cut it off. And so there's not a consistent access to that clean water. And then in many places, even where there is, they're having to walk so far that we have little girls dropping out of school to be in charge of water. And so there's really a ripple effect of communities and how it impacts the communities that little girls can go back to school.
Yeah.
And the impact that makes on their community and how pouring into the education of these children is made possible by a consistent water resource. So it's really crazy how it impacts so many areas of their life.
I mean, it's just I mean, we're definitely spoiled here in this country, or
we have
blessed.
no idea.
It just, I mean, they have a minister of water.
Right.
Right. And we just go to Sam's and buy cases of water and take
Right.
it home or whatever. You know,
Don't
we
even
don't
think
think
about
about
Or
it.
let the faucet run.
Let the, you know, whatever.
Yeah, April just said that, and I was going to say the same thing. I have that thought run through my mind just about every morning when I brush my teeth, and at night,
Well,
of that, how I just, while I'm brushing my teeth, I just let that water run. And what a blessing. I mean,
you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, I really am. I mean, and I'll shut it off.
He
because
does. He tells me
because
too.
it's like,
I do that
Yeah,
too,
we
Paul.
shut
I mean,
it off.
it's really just, it's a blessing to have
It's
that.
really extravagant.
And so obviously, you don't charge for the wells or anything like that. But I mean, has the government tried to step in and do anything with the wells or charge or anything like that?
No,
or-
nothing like that. They've all been drilled on church property, and the church owns
okay.
the property, so they have complete control over it,
Gotcha.
and that was intentional so that they can monitor it, but also use it as a tool for the community. So they don't require anything of it. Of anyone in the community can come use it. But we've actually been in conversations with. I've met with the local government, but also with the national government to have their official blessing.
Yeah.
I have their unofficial blessing through like email or whatever, but would love to meet with them officially and get their blessing. But the last time I was there in South Africa, the Minister of Water for the Mpumalanga district, which is where I've been primarily, he said that they spend 70% of their budget is based on water relief.
Oh, wow.
70%
Wow.
of their district's budget goes toward providing water, and they haven't even scratched the surface.
Yeah, so,
Wow.
so what you're doing is helping their budget more or less, so they're letting you do.
Oh,
Yeah,
they love what
absolutely.
you're doing.
And they really, it's interesting, the local pastor that I work with there, he speaks at a lot of these schools and churches all around the area. And one of the projects that we're doing actually Thanksgiving week coming up is with a school, and he said that they've been looking to him as a leader. And it's interesting there, as corrupt as so many of the things can be, they really look to the church leaders as
it's
leaders.
different than us.
Yeah. And in America, we, there's kind of like that bad vibe almost, like, oh, don't let a pastor do it, or we can't have a pastor speak to that, or God forbid we have a pastor come speak to our children or whatever in the public schools. And there it is very different in that in a good way.
Yes.
Right.
Right,
Yes,
right.
right.
That they're using spiritual leaders to pour into their children, and a lot of them are fatherless. So to have men pastors come into the church and really pour into the children is really cool.
What's the process of putting in a well? Like, what do you go
How
through
do you-
each time?
Well, it can be quite laborious. So thankfully, the pastor that I work with there, his name is Alfie, and he has been, if Megan is my right-hand lady in America, he is definitely my right-hand man in Africa.
Gotcha.
Because he speaks the language. He's trustworthy. He's bought into it. And he really does a lot of the legwork before I get there.
Gotcha.
So before I get there, we have a land surveyor come. We have a water witcher come, which is not witchcraft. A lot of people think it is.
You have to say that a lot, don't you?
Yeah, but it's not. That's just the name. It's actually two rods that they run, two metal rods. It looks like hangers. If you go to our Facebook page, you can see how it's done. But and it picks up on where the water is actually located located at its strongest point underground. And so they find the spot that we want to drill. And then Pastor Alfie will contact the local drillers, have them come out, do an estimate. And then hopefully we have everything lined up and kind of pre-purchased for when I get there, that it's, all hands on deck and ready to go. Oh, so apparently Alfie is on. It's 6 hours behind, so he should not be awake, but apparently he is. But so it's quite a process. But once I get there, we really try to hit the ground running with drilling, because drilling can take a minimum of 3 days, sometimes more, depending on, because you just never know what you're going to run into underground.
Right.
How far down usually?
So that's another good question. We have wells that are as shallow as 30 meters and as deep as 60 meters. So it just depends. While drilling through stone is really, really difficult and eats up drill bits really quickly, it's actually the best and the most cost effective, because the stone acts as a natural casing for the water to come through. When we drill through soil, the soil is obviously soft. And so, just like if you dug a hole and then the soil falls in. So we have to put casing all the way down, which is really expensive. And so we always pray for some stone to be under there to limit the amount of casing that we have.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. On average, how many wells do you drill a year? Is that?
Well, we've only officially been going for 2 years. And so I did 2 in 2000. What year are we in? 18. I did 2 in 2017, and I've already done 2 in 2018, and another one in November. So this will be the 5th one.
That's awesome.
How much does a well usually cost? What's the range?
So I would say in U.S. dollars, it's usually around $5,000. If anybody listening has ever heard of any well drilling in South America, it's quite different there, and it's actually more expensive. So in Africa, it's not as expensive. It does depend on the area and how much casing and all of that we have to do. But it's about $5,000 U.S. dollars. What did they say?
Your husband's giving
You're
you
like,
a comment.
you can tell that we're...
I know I talk country.
Not to us, normal.
See, to us, you sound normal. I don't think she sounds country.
Was your husband not from around here?
He is. He's actually born and raised from here, and I was born in Texas. But I think when I get on radio or the phone or whatever, I talk more country.
Yeah. Well, I want to read this comment that my son made, and I'm going to give you a preface this by saying they live in rural Indiana.
Okay.
Right outside of Cincinnati, Ohio, and they're all on the cistern system there. So he takes these 3,000,
they have
whatever.
a cistern. It's not a system.
Well,
but
I mean, a cistern. That's what they, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's where they put all their water in, but they have to haul it in. They go to a community well.
Wow.
On this big truck, this big, huge thing, and they pay $1 or whatever it is, and they fill up 3,000 gallons or whatever, and then they take it and put it in their cistern at home.
Interesting.
And that run their house. They don't
Just a
drink
water
it, but
tank,
it's like a big water tank. But they flush and brush and bathe and all that, and then they bring in bottled water to drink. So he was just saying, he said, I've always complained about having to run my water, but after hearing your story, I'll be thankful every time I can do it.
That's right.
Bless you.
Yeah.
So just, because there's people even in our country that, we think we're on the city water or whatever, and so we don't even think about it.
Right.
You know,
you've got some
That's
places,
crazy. I've never heard of
especially
that.
like in Kentucky, that don't.
But
have,
I mean, they
don't
there
have
because
water,
there's a lot
period.
of rock and stuff and all, and it's hard to dig wells there. They said so. They all are
not
on
cost
cisterns.
effective.
Not cost effective. So that's pretty cool. That,
Yeah.
And I just want to interject right here and say that we have a lot of listeners. If you are listening right now and you have $5,000 in the name of Jesus, why don't you just sow that for a well?
Yeah.
And I hope that you'll let us know how we can do
Absolutely.
that. Because I truly believe in exposure of a need. And then what better need is there than giving people basic drinking water?
Right. Let me add to it. If you don't have $5,000
Give
but
what you
belong to a church that has it, why don't your church sponsor a well?
A well. Wouldn't that be awesome?
This would be a good
Seriously,
time,
y'all?
Kristen, to let people know how, if they wanted to give.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best way is to go to 28bold.com, and you can give through the website there, and it will automatically generate a tax deduction receipt for you.
Right.
Awesome.
That will go to your email, and then you'll also be on our mailing list.
Now, does it spell out 28 bold or okay?
It's the number
Okay, your husband just did it. Okay.
BOLD.com.
Yeah,
That's
That is
awesome.
so awesome. What a great project it could be for a church
Seriously.
to take on or
Right.
something like that.
Even,
to
youth
raise
group.
For a well.
to
Youth
raise.
group.
So, are you there
That's a problem.
for every well, or no?
To date, yes. I have been there for every well. My dream is that it would be so big that it would be
gonna outgrow,
possible
yes.
for me
Right.
to be there
Yep.
for every well. What's really cool, this trip coming up in November, my son is going with me, my
Awesome.
oldest son. He's 14. And he's always been interested in it. All the kids have begged me to go, and we've just decided we're ready for him to go. And so I'm excited. If I say my dreams out loud, they kind of scare me, which is
Yeah.
probably good. But
It is good.
I would love for one of my children to really kind of take it up and be interested in it and want to, maybe not do it full time, but at least go,
Right.
here and there and be my ambassador, so I don't
Well,
have to
sounds
do
like
all the
it's awesome.
traveling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds like it's on the way to do
Yeah.
it. So.
Whenever
So-
you go, not knowing how, I'm curious about this, not knowing exactly how long, what do you do for your return flight? Do you do like a week or like?
No, we booked the flight. So that's what's kind of nerve wracking
gotcha.
is we booked the flight, and we have a certain amount of days on the ground,
Right.
and that's what we have,
Yeah.
and if I, it hasn't happened yet. It almost happened this last time that I was going to have to leave and it wasn't complete. But Pastor Alfie was there, would have overseen the project.
Yeah.
I just would have been so sad not to
Yeah.
see it completed.
Speaking of well
Yeah, this is
well
funny.
drilling, my cousin Rick Benner owns Virginia Well Drilling.
And
in
he's
Virginia,
watching
of
us this
course.
morning.
He's
Oh,
watching.
Neat.
Yeah, so Rick, 28bold.com. 28bold.com.
Go check
they
them
go
out,
to
Rick.
yeah, they
That's
go to
so
Africa
awesome.
and dig wells. So
Hey Rick,
so-
we're coming to the close of 2018. You might need a tax deductible
Yes,
that's
reason
right.
for your company,
That's
so
right.
feel free to do a well from a well company.
Yeah.
Um,
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be
Well from
awesome.
a well company.
Yeah.
I
So
love it.
tell us, have you been given a name by the?
I have.
Local.
Oh, you're into a secret. You know
I
a
am.
secret.
I do.
So I'm glad you pointed that out. I forgot about it. So the first well that I did, so we name each well. I should have brought my well book, but we name each well. Well, we allow the community to name the well based on what it means to them. And the first well that we did obviously was very ceremonious and such a huge accomplishment. But the community there, it was at the very first community that I had ever visited in South Africa. And I think in their mind, it was like, okay, this girl's for real now, like
the validity. Of,
yeah, like they were kind of looking at me with side eyes,
yeah.
for the first couple of years, and then when we did that well, they're like, okay, she's serious, like she keeps coming back, and so they named me. They gave me a South African name, and the name is Zanamanzi, which means she came with water.
Oh, don't make me cry.
Yeah, and so we named the first well Zanamanzi.
I'm tearing up because when
That is
your
so
dad
good.
told me that, and I was like, man, I just got
Oh,
goosebumps.
wow.
And I was like,
Yeah.
man, just,
That's awesome.
that's awesome.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
name too.
Yeah.
I know, I love it. And
It's
so when I
pretty.
land, I don't go by Kristen. I'm only Zanamanzi. And the friends that I have there, actually, they'll start to say Kristen. I'm like, Zanamanzi, and then they'll correct themselves.
I mean, I guess what
Oh,
gets me with
fantastic.
that is that in biblical times, names meant
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
And so they gave you a name that meant something to them. You know,
Yeah.
and it's a blessing.
Right.
Has-
And that's so true in Africa. Here we use a lot of family names or just names that we like when we name our children. And in Africa, every name has a meaning.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they name their children out of what they're experiencing at that time.
Yeah.
If it's pain or happiness or whatever. And so their names have a very deep meaning. Everything has a very deep meaning.
Right.
And so to have that name just meant so much to me.
Yeah.
And it meant so much to me that we would name the first well Zanamanzi. She came with water. And then, every well after that has a name as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all,
That
is just so
that's
awesome.
good.
I know, right?
So has you said that the wells, every well is on church property. Has that have they affected the church growth any or?
So I don't have specific numbers. I will say qualitatively, yes. So a couple of the properties were brand new that they had just started. One of them had just bought the property maybe like a month before we did the well. And so a lot of them are new. One of them is not. The one in Pagani, which is the very first well we did, Zanamanzi, that community was old, like an old community church. But what it's done is gave credibility to the church.
Yeah.
And in that area, witchcraft is, in Pagani particular, witchcraft is very prevalent. And it's very hard to break through. It's not just a religion, it is a deep part of their culture for many, many generations. And so it's very difficult to kind of break through that with this new age, Christianity.
Right.
Yeah. And they really see church sometimes like we do is what are they wanting from me? They must want something from me.
Right.
And how awesome is this?
The pastor is watching.
And he said, "Yes, I am."
There he is. There's
So that's
Pastor
awesome.
Alfie. It says Alfred, but we call him Pastor Alfie.
So what time is it there?
It's like 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Bless your
Yeah,
heart.
Pastor
Wow.
Alfie
Thanks
gets up
for
in the middle of the
watching.
night
Yeah.
to pray, apparently, and he's
pray
watching
for
on
us.
Facebook.
Well, listen, April, let them know how they can watch it later if they want to.
Yes, so this will be posted on YouTube. You can just type in Your Morning Manna. It should be at the top of the feed. It's show number 102. It'll also be here available on Facebook Live. On Facebook for you to watch afterward.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have to say, when you said you had a son 14, it kind of shocked me because
She looks very young,
I'm
right?
thinking you got 3 kids. The oldest might be 6, something like that.
No,
So,
sir.
'cause I was
That's
trying
what
to-
happens when you have kids too young.
Yeah. Well, we've got 5, so
God bless you.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Right?
3 is too many, and that's how many I
I
have.
think 4 is easier than 3. I think we encounter that, but 5 is off the charts, a whole nother.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 is difficult, but the grace is there. But yeah, 3, the off,
right.
off
we're-
count.
Yeah.
We love like Pastor like Daniel Kalinda and Reinhard Bunke and
Yes.
stuff, and just to see how people like them and you that go over there and just
Right.
you may think
Heidi
you're just doing
Baker.
something that is your heart, but it just blesses
It's God's heart.
the country.
Yes,
For
yeah.
sure.
And
so sweet.
so that's just, I mean, it's, like when I said, when I went to visit your dad and he told me that, I said, man, I've got to have her on the show.
Absolutely.
I mean, because it just, I could feel the Holy Spirit in the room at
Yeah.
the doctor's office.
Right,
You know,
right,
it was
right.
like,
Yeah.
and so,
I love that.
You
Yeah,
know, I
so-
was sitting here thinking the story, we all know the famous story, the woman coming to the well
the
and
well,
Jesus
yeah.
being at the well. And, and he tells her, he said, if you just ask, I'd give you the living water. You would thirst no more. And I think of that because you're done it's on a church property where they present the living water of Jesus Christ, but they need real physical water.
Yeah,
to
we
live.
have to meet physical needs too,
and that's
not
just so
spiritual.
awesome.
It
And
is.
that's, I think of that, Jesus, you're giving them both.
That's what I was thinking the whole
The
time.
living water, but
Well,
you're giving them the water they need to sustain life.
and I think your dad
Wow.
had said that they had never seen, or maybe I heard this, maybe I made it up in my mind, but they had never seen
Cadiddle.
Uh,
Tordiddle.
water
Taradiddle.
yeah, water coming out like that.
That's
like,
right.
Like
Yes,
rushing
I know.
water like that.
Yeah,
It's-
so it's really exciting. It doesn't do this every time, but it's really exciting when we hit water. And you can go to the Facebook page and see some photos, but sometimes we have to blast it to get the water to that last part to clear out the pipe, and it sprays up. And in one of the pictures, I have like this yellow, look like a sailor rain suit, like head to toe, and it just sprays water everywhere, and it's magnificent. I mean,
Right.
it's just the most exciting thing. And but then once we get the well installed and everything, the pump, even then, it's funny. I'm going to tell him Pastor Alfie because Pastor Alfie actually is from Kenya and he's used to pretty consistent clean water living in the city and things like that. But even when we go to do these wells, he's like, okay, turn it off. And I'm like, Pastor Alfie, no, there's plenty. Like, you can let it keep going. And he's like, it's making me nervous. Like,
Right.
turn it off.
That's what I was thinking. You're wasting water. You're wasting water.
But it's such a culture shift,
Well-
that for them to have literally never for generations been able to turn on water and just let it run, and one of the times I said, let the kids play in it.
Yeah.
And they looked at me like,
Oh,
are you insane? Are you mad? This is sheer gold coming out,
Right, right.
And so to let the kids just splash and wash their face and, wash their hands, it was just so rewarding,
Right,
to be able
right.
to let them do
Now-
There's
that.
such a message in that
Yeah.
too, though, because when we come to Christ, we've not experienced grace and love
Right.
and peace, and all of a sudden it's there in full abundance, and we're like, "Oh, is this too much? This is uncomfortable."
Yeah.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
this may be a silly question, but how long will the well last? So, I mean, is it?
That's a great question and a concern that a lot of donors have. So the well, in for all intents and purposes, will last forever. I mean, the casing is steel casing. It's going, 60 meters in the ground. The only thing that could potentially, it runs on electricity. So the pump, if you have well water here in the States, even I'm on well water out in the country, and it's really low maintenance. I mean, you don't do a whole lot to it. They, if the motor were to give out or something like that, we would replace it. And that's one thing when I was researching water relief is that in other parts of Africa, there are a lot of just abandoned wells that people came, drilled, and didn't maintain. And that's a commitment that I have, is that I'm not going to do all this work and bring these people to this resource just to let it, go to waste. So if something happened, we would replace it.
That's good.
So,
wow.
Has your husband been on trips with you, or your sister?
He hasn't, but I think this is a perfect time for you to call him out about it.
Okay.
He's been letting you go over there by yourself.
He didn't have a choice, really.
That girl's bold as a lion. You ain't gonna put her down.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, man.
But my sister is going with me this time. My sister and my son for the first time.
That's so exciting.
Well,
Thanksgiving week, we will be in South Africa.
And your dad has a love for missions too, so
He does.
it's just passing on from generation to
yeah.
generation. That's awesome.
Now,
Sweet.
y'all probably can't tell it, but here in the studio, you can feel her passion.
Yeah.
It's just radiating off of her because I'm getting excited. I'm not going over there with her, but I'm getting excited about it.
Well, she made me want to go with her when she said that about
right?
the water
The
coming out. I was
water.
like, man, I was
Just seeing
I
that,
watch it. I watch it on video. Your husband said bye, Felicia.
He's rotten.
Awesome. Everybody needs to go to her website today
Yeah.
and help any way you can.
Youth groups get together and get a well.
Yeah.
Churches,
Seriously.
whole churches, get a well. I mean,
Man, that's awesome.
So you could donate on just 28bold.com. Just donate on there.
Yep, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be, the price of a full
Right,
well.
yeah.
And you also
Right.
have the option to do recurring giving, which is super helpful, because what recurring giving does, it signs you up to give any amount you choose per month. And what that does for 28 Bold is it gives us financial stability to be able to plan and say, this is what we propose that we'll have
Right.
in by this point, and plan ahead of time, because it takes months to plan out the next well, and we can't do that without resources.
That's
So
right.
if we know, hey, this is what we have in the bank, this is what we can expect. I see what he said.
I know. It's typical man too.
Oh,
Hey,
now I feel
at home.
bad for him.
Yeah, I've stayed at home with the babies for 11 days
Yes.
at a time.
Can I go to Africa?
We
Leave
all
the
have
babies
a
at home for
mission
11
field.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Very good.
Well,
that's
That's good
awesome.
stuff.
Well-
Let me go ahead right now. When y'all come back, please come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Share
I would
with
love
us.
Keep
that.
us updated.
Bring some
Yeah.
pictures with you.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know this may sound selfish, but if anything comes from this interview, let us know.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Because we've had a lady on here that she does homeless ministry and needed a
An RV. Got one the
Got
next
one.
week.
And
Oh,
she
my
mentioned,
goodness.
no, she got it the next day.
The next day, that's
Yeah.
right. The next
Yeah.
day.
Somebody
That's
heard it on the
amazing.
show and gave her an RV the next day.
Yeah, and if they go online and donate, they can put in the notes section that they heard it on the radio.
Yeah.
let
That
us
way we
know,
would
guys.
know
That's so awesome.
kind of
Yes.
who was listening.
Well, let's set it up to bring your son and you said your sister
Yeah.
was going to. Yeah, bring all of them.
Okay, all come. Yeah,
Let's
welcome
do
it
it.
all.
No,
Yeah.
leave her son home with her husband.
Just to the radio show.
Just to the radio show, yeah. So,
And actually, you can give online. When you give online through the website, it's through Secure Give, which is my husband is actually the COO, but they do digital giving for nonprofits and churches.
Really?
Yeah, so
Okay, cool.
it's an easy, secure way to give.
all right. That is awesome.
Well, thank you for coming out and
Thank you so
sharing your
much.
heart for missions and well drilling and
Yeah.
things like that. And
We'd love to keep you the next 15 minutes if you'd like to stay. You don't have to, but we have a few more segments we'd love for you to participate in. If you're able to stay
Sure,
till
I
10
can say
o'clock,
it.
we'll just move right into the...
Okay, so do you want to go ahead and do our video speak live? Make sure we get that in today. It's just
I think it's
found
like 4 minutes long,
Yeah,
isn't it?
4 minutes long is and since we've talked about water today, let's talk
This is
about light for
light,
just a minute.
yeah.
This will be perfect. Okay.
Yep.
All right, here we
Trying
go,
to find
guys.
Everyone, my name is
trying.
Dave. Welcome to my channel. Hang on, wait a second.
I can't.
Let there be light.
You had it, April.
So today we're talking about
That's
light.
it?
And this is something that
There it is.
I
Sorry,
thought I
guys.
had
There it
all
is.
figured out. You know, I mean, light goes on, light goes off. Light goes on, light goes off. Light goes on, light goes off. But trust me, the Hebrew word that's used for light in the Bible, it's gonna surprise you. Well, if this is your first time on my channel, this is the place where I like to do short, 2-minute videos designed to help you take the next practical steps in your faith journey. So make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and click that little bell icon so that you never miss an episode. So I've been asking you for your suggestions about which Hebrew word I should do a video on, and there have been tons of suggestions. And one of the words suggested was the Hebrew word for light, so that's what I'm gonna do today. And if you've got a suggestion for my next video, make sure you leave it in the comment section down below. And who knows, maybe next week I'll choose you. Okay, so let's put 2 minutes up on the clock and get straight into it. So the Hebrew word for light is or, O-H-R, which surprisingly doesn't mean to illuminate or to make things visible. It actually means to bring order to something chaotic. Now, I bet some of you are already thinking about that famous line from the creation story. Let there be light. I don't know if that's the way that God actually said that, which means that up until this point in the story, God had actually made the heavens and the earth in the dark. Now, to any normal person reading the Bible, God saying, let there be light makes sense, so you just move on. But if you've been watching these videos or following along with my Instagram devotions, then you're not really normal anymore. So you read these verses knowing that when God said, let there be light, he was actually saying, let there be order. You see, verse 2 of the entire Bible says that the earth was without form and void, which basically means it was chaotic, which is exactly why God said, let there be let there be light, let there be order. Because one of the things that defines God's kingdom is order. And then later on in the story, Jesus challenges all of his followers to be light to the people around them. He literally describes his followers as being the light of the world. So this means we are to bring order into the world, or more specifically, we're supposed to bring order to the people who are in chaos around us. And when you do this, Jesus said that you are shining before others in the way that you act and in the way that you speak. And in doing that, you're actually pointing people toward God. Now, when we read Jesus's words about being a light, I think the picture that most of us have is of this giant light bulb shining in a dark world. But what if your life wasn't one single light bulb shining the way to God, but was actually a string of smaller lights? What if every action, every word, every decision that you made throughout the day built on each other until your life looked more like a jar of light? It shines brightly and points people toward God, one step, one action, one word, one decision at a time. It's like one of my favorite quotes from Pastor Carl Lentz. How well you love people is how you gauge whether or not God is doing something in your life. Andy Stanley puts it this way: your devotion to God is illustrated, demonstrated, and orchestrated, authenticated. Your devotion to God is illustrated, demonstrated, and authenticated by your love for others. See, I believe that today, every action, every word, every decision, every conversation, every social media post is a chance for you to shine brightly, to bring order to the family and friends around you. And it also means if you're facing chaos today, then I believe that God wants to shine a light, to shine his ore into your situation, to bring order to your chaos. So there you have it. That's the meaning of the Hebrew word for light. What biblical word or concept do you want me to explain in Hebrew next time? Why don't you let me know in the comment section down below. Now, before you all go, I want to give you a little sneak peek into my latest book. It's called 52 Hebrew Words Every Christian Should Know. And here's a little sneak peek. Now, this is the only copy that I have of this book, but I'm going to sign it and give it away to someone who comments on this video, subscribes to my channel, and follows me on Instagram. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so.
Okay,
Awesome.
so I just happened on this video on Facebook, and I thought, man, how cool that would be to show on Your Morning Manna.
Yeah.
Because we've been talking about light, and we'll get
Yes.
into that more next week,
That's
and we may
right.
bring all this back up.
That's right.
So I just thought it was so interesting how he brought that out, that the light just brings, it stops the chaos.
I love that.
Like, and
Brings
we,
order.
yeah,
awesome.
you know, instead of, we've always just think be light, and, you know, let our light shine, or his light shine, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the sun wasn't made yet, so that wasn't what
Right.
he was.
That was not what he was talking
I
about.
love the
So
order.
we're going to get into that more next week.
Yeah,
so
that
that's
was a
another little
teaser.
teaser for next week for the ladies, Your Morning Manna. So you don't want to miss that.
That was brought to you by Riverfront Lawn Care.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you guys so much.
They're
for
so
being
awesome.
Our sponsors.
So anyway, I know we're running out of time. We got to get your our Mania
Mania.
minute
we still
in.
can't say it, y'all, but it's
because
fun.
It's fun, and it's just a little silly something today. So today's is called Get to Know the Crew.
Okay.
And you're really not going to have to write anything down. You're just going to have to answer.
Oh,
Okay.
rapid fire.
So, yes, a rapid fire thing. Let me get to my paper here.
And please, no taradiddling.
Yeah, no Tara
I'm already ready to go.
This is a simple little thing, and you're very welcome to participate in this. It's just
course.
to answer I have or I have not, okay?
Okay.
We're going to let her go first.
Okay, I love it.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a question, and then you can just say I have not, have, or have not, and then we'll go
Okay.
to the next question,
All right.
okay?
Okay.
It's just a few fun little questions to get to know the crew here this morning and our guest. And let me see if I can find our opening here.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Christians of all ages. Coming up next, your Mania Minute. Ooh, yeah.
Okay, first question. Have you ever fake cried to get what you want?
Yes.
No.
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 April,
wow.
April's taradiddling.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you have.
Okay.
You've
I
done
have.
it out here before.
I have, okay?
Full of it.
Okay, next question. Here we go. Have you ever peed in a swimming pool?
Yes.
Guess first.
Yes, and it did not turn blue.
No.
Absolutely.
Yes. Teach my kids to do the same. I'm just kidding, y'all.
Okay, have you ever sung karaoke?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
What?
Yes. No.
You
No,
wouldn't?
No.
He wouldn't
Yeah,
for $1
okay.
million.
Yeah, I don't know, $1 million now.
Okay, this one's going to be kind of funny, and so I'm going to say this, and this is April. I can see her cringing now because when I read it, she's going to like, Lord. Okay, have you ever expelled gas in a small area and pretended it wasn't you?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Y'all, I just met you. But
I did, yes.
I'm sure I have.
I mean, you know how kids, as a
Yes,
child.
kids. Yes, as a child.
That would be yes for me.
Yeah, yes.
In this studio.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever broke
Hold
something?
on, Dana. Were you a yes on that one?
Oh, mine.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Okay. Yes. All right. Have you ever broke something and never owned up to it, or blamed it on someone else?
I don't think I have. I mean, maybe I have, but I can't remember a time. Like
Do you have a sister?
I do.
So yes, that would be yes.
As a child, I guess I'm thinking as an adult. Like I get really convicted over those little things.
Little things, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'll do something super bad before I'll do something just
right.
a little bad.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. for
Yes,
me.
yes, yes.
No, I haven't.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Paul,
Have you
they
ever?
put a halo over Paul?
Have you?
He's
have
pretty
you
awesome.
Ever faked being sick to be able to stay out of work?
No.
Not in the past 19 years.
Out of school, yes. Out of work, no.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Stop looking at me, Swad.
No, I was thinking of I was thinking of a story back when we were in high school. My best friend Robbie, we worked at Western Sizzlin Steakhouse on Walton Way,
And I miss it.
and
so
we wanted to go out to this particular
rolls.
party, and so we were. She had to work. I was off, and so like she was distraught. She had to work. So I was like, we've got to think of a reason. And I'm not proud of this, okay? But I'm just saying we were 15. Why she needed to get off work? So she said, I tell you what, call and tell them that my grandfather has passed away.
Lord,
Now,
have
here's the thing. Her grandfather was already passed away.
Oh, so she was trying to do that.
Yeah, so she wouldn't say it about one that was living.
She's like, it is true. But
So
2 years ago.
we called and done that, and her boss said, well, you need to leave and go on. Well, I mean, it was weeks later he found out that, it was bad.
He didn't see it in the obituary.
No, right, but I'm not ashamed of that, but so we have lied to get
You
out
are
of work.
ashamed
You're
of
not
that.
ashamed of
What?
it?
You are ashamed of that.
we are ashamed that we done that, but I was 15, okay?
Yeah, we need to pray for
Okay.
Dana.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Have you ever
love it.
shot a gun?
Oh, yeah. We live in the country.
Okay.
And she talks like she has. Ooh.
Yes or no?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
I think I did a turkey shoot one time.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
fine.
All right. Have you ever lied about your age?
No, I don't think so. But a lot of people think I'm younger than I am. It kind of lies for me.
I'll agree with that. Yes, I've pretended to be older at a certain time in my life.
All right.
No.
I always get confused, so not intentionally.
Okay. Have you ever been pulled over by a policeman?
Yes, actually, quite recently.
Bad police. Bad. Yeah, quite a few times.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Last question, because we have to move on. Have you ever cheated on a test?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No.
Oh Lord.
I mean,
Yeah.
Come
how
on.
do you even cheat on a test?
You can look at
I
somebody
mean,
else's
you never
paper.
looked at anybody else's answers
You can
or
go
paper.
like
in
this.
I was
high
nervous
school?
the teacher would see me do that.
Okay.
You can go like this.
My handwriting's bad on paper. What would it look like on my hand?
I can remember my mom and dad put me in private school when I was in 8th grade. And my very first week there in private school, I got caught cheating on the test. So that was not good.
No,
Right.
that wasn't good.
Okay, so there's
good.
your Mania
That was
Minute
good
today.
job. Good job, Dana.
You have learned a few things about your crew and our guest this
Have
morning.
mercy.
Yeah.
None of those questions made us look good, though.
Well, I think I'm the
Yeah, it
worst
did.
one here. I'm not supposed to be the missionary.
Oh, my goodness. So, anyway.
That was
thank
good.
you
Good
for
job, Dana.
participating.
Yes, thank you for participating with that with us. We always like to do something on the show to bring some laughter and stuff. And at least we didn't do Bible trivia this morning. We have,
That's fun.
that is fun, but it,
For
sometimes
y'all
on
know it all.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah, for y'all know it all, it's fun.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so we're going to move on to reflections.
Speaking of karaoke.
Reflections of the segment of our show.
Reflections of our favorite moments of the show.
Who want to go first?
I'll go. I really enjoyed our special guest coming today, and I that's so inspiring to know
It is.
that we can make an impact, not just spiritually on people, but help them with physical needs too, and even wherever we are, to be reminded to look around for people in need, right where we are, and try to meet the need. And so I love that. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
I agree. I enjoyed the special guest. She was very good. Very good.
Yes. Enjoyed you.
How could you say anything different?
How
pressure's
dare
on.
you?
Enjoyed meeting you. Your ministry is just awesome.
Yeah,
so,
it's really good.
Appreciate you and
Thank
thank you.
you.
And I can't wait till y'all come back on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff.
So I'll have to concur. I loved the part, the ministry, and gives people and other churches an opportunity
That's right.
to join into something like that. You know, it's
Yes.
something that we take so for granted.
Yeah.
And
you-
I enjoyed seeing you. I mean, you were a little tiny girl last time I saw you at Crawford Avenue Church. So that's been a long time ago. Or maybe it was at New Hope when we first moved to the first
Okay.
location.
Still
But that's
probably
been a long
20-something years
Yeah,
ago.
a long, long time ago. So
Yeah.
But-
be sure and tell your mom and dad I said
I
hey.
will.
So
The passion she has for that
Yes.
is contagious for sure. So it's definitely from God, and it's just good stuff.
Thank
I
you.
want to encourage too those of you watching on Facebook to please go and check out 28bold.com. We've had 25 or so listeners on average watching on my Facebook feed this morning. So please be sure and check out their website and give if you can, or get your church involved or whatever. That's so
Absolutely.
exciting, and we can't wait to have you back out here with your son. I'd love to hear his
take on it,
experience
Yeah.
by going, and your sister and all
sister.
that kind of stuff. So it'll be
Awesome.
great. Anything
Gary
else, guys?
Sullivan, we love you too.
Oh, and Joanne says, I guess about the Mania Minute, she says, it says you're human, sinners saved by grace, new creations through Christ Jesus. Thank you, Joanne, for that.
As long as we stop doing those behaviors.
And I have to apologize to our listeners that actually won prizes.
Yeah.
We hadn't got them in the mail yet. We're waiting on.
They're boxed up. I just haven't.
Well, we also got T-shirts coming.
That we
for
were
the
waiting
other
on.
We're going
ones.
to get you,
Yeah.
boo. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
So,
I know we got your
Allison,
back.
I don't know if Allison Lentz is watching, but I have their T-shirts boxed up and her books and all that stuff. So we'll get it in the post office this week. I promise
Yes,
you'll be getting
for
them. We
sure.
haven't forgotten because we don't want to disappoint those children, you know?
That's right.
It's been a great show today, guys. Listen, I want to go ahead and give you a heads up. Next week, Kathy Lemunion and Michelle Curls is going to be out
And
here.
Shannon
help.
Sarah.
And Shannon Sarah, too. Going to help me and April co-hosting next week. The guys won't be here.
You won't be here.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
next
you're
week. I
working.
won't be here.
Will you?
Yeah.
I was like,
she's
you-
Wait a
working
minute.
next week.
Okay. I won't be here next week.
Yeah.
And so April, and then we'll continue.
We're going to miss you. I need your flash drive.
And then she's like, okay, I'll make sure it's on the.
Otherwise, I won't have a show to
desktop.
produce.
Then I've got to work my part-time job. David,
We're
he's
gonna
on.
miss you, Dana.
He's on vacation, so I've got to go in next week and work on Monday.
Okay.
And so I'm going to hate missing you guys. But anyway, I'm excited about it, so I'll have to go back and watch it, especially on the light, and which I'm going to continue
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
So I think I'm
And
going to
if you,
miss that.
We'll
Wow.
keep that going when you come back.
Yeah.
If you were local and would like to meet half of the Morning Manna crew, we'll be at the Aiken Fair tonight. So
Yeah, walking
you
around.
see us,
Oh,
get,
yeah.
you know,
Y'all, wear y'all's get decked out in
Have
morning
our- that's
manna.
right.
Put morning manna on the kids,
Get
too.
our headband on and all that stuff.
Oh,
and
those
get going.
headbands are awesome.
Yeah,
Kathy,
so-
I'm going to get it to you. I've just been borrowing it lately.
Yeah.
I might need a second one.
She done stretched it out.
We had a
we got
yard
another
sale and I
one.
was cold and I put that thing on. Oh, goodness. I'm going to
we
get
got
you,
more.
Kathy.
Donna says, great
You
show
said
this
stretch it
morning.
out, Paul?
Lots
your
of joy
mouth.
in the air. I enjoyed the special guest and hearing about that. So,
Yeah.
y'all be sure and check out their website, 28bold.com.
Yeah, please do.
And,
Truly a blessing.
With that, we're going to get on out of here as soon as I can find my exit.
It's joy unspeakable.
Thank y'all so much. Please make sure to tune in next week where we're going to do it all over again. And as always, stay fiery.
We love you guys. God bless and have a great week.
Thank you for listening. God bless. And remember, 28 bold.
All right, guys. I want to thank our sponsors, A1 Bonding, All About You Hair and Nail, A to Z Moving, All Sunshine, Blazing Bus Catering, Riverfront Lawn Care, Aiken Furniture Company, and
We'll get you in a minute, caller.
anyway, we'll see y'all next week. God bless y'all. We
Bye,
love
guys.
you all.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
What kind of joy is there?
This is Jace Turner, and you are listening to the Voice of Truth station, WUCC 99.9 FM, Williston, Aiken, Augusta.